Oh, we're live over here. Live over here. Getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, flip the camera, go there, and all right, going this way. Flip the camera, come on, come on. Flip the camera, go there, and go there. All right, ready to roll. M's in the house. Amy, good evening, Miss Amy. All right. Nothing's happening there. That one. Well, let's see how this one's working. Live and live. There we go. Add description, dividend stock talk. Go live, and there we go. All right, live, and live down here also. All right, ready to get rolling. Good evening, Amy. Good evening. How are you? I am fine. Joe, AK Bam, what's happening? G Squad, Russ Robinson, what's going on? Rafi, Ken, good evening. Rafi the man. Paul Kahn, how you doing? Dirt Farmer, back again. Empress Banks, David G, what's going on? Obsessed, Matchbox, good evening, good evening. Muscle Inc, cool. Tim Donathan. Oh, wow. Let's get the ball rolling. Christian DeFore, good evening. Russ Robinson, David G. H. Wynn, good evening. David G. Good evening. Guys, Pem, okay. Henry, good evening. Christian, Grasshopper. Soul, good evening. All right, let's get ready to get started. First and foremost, as usual, introductions are only proper, correct? My name is James. Good evening, everyone. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by the 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow, looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. Now, if your math is a little rusty, 1% a week is over 50% per year. And if you compound it, it's over 64% per year, compounded. Okay, so that being said, why don't you guys do me a favor? Hit me up with some stocks to take a look at. We'll get started. Take a look at some of the stocks you guys are interested in, and I'll give you my opinion on. Now, just to let you know, I am very picky at what I do. I am 61 years old. I am looking for cash flow. Okay, PSA. Ooh, what the heck is PSA? Well, let's take a look at PSA. PSA. Let me pre-qualify what I'm looking for first before we just throwing stuff out at us, because PSA is a no. Sorry, dude, that's a no. Let me explain to you why it is a no, okay? Now, I invest a certain way, okay? So the name of the show, okay, whatever you want to call it, the show, the live, the whatever, okay, is called Dividend Stock Talk. Dividend Stock Talk, specifically companies that have dividends, because I'm looking for cash flow. Number two, companies that have weekly options. I got two criteria and only two criteria. One, consistency of profitability. It just doesn't make sense to me to put my money into a company that is not consistently profitable. That just doesn't make sense. So criteria number one, consistency of profitability. Criteria number two, weekly options only. This here, 16 May, 20 June, 19 September, those are monthlies. So monthly basically means I can only trade it once a month. And trading it once a month is going to give me what? 12 to 24% return for the year. Now, some of you may be okay with that. Not me. I'm looking for 1% a week. 1% a week comes to over 50% per year, and that's what I'm looking for. Simply, safely, predictably, consistently, and hopefully no way to lose. Well, that's what I'm looking for. Companies that are consistently profitable. Gigi's in the house. Ryazali, good evening. El Notino. Jason, good evening. Magnanimous. I always wondered where you were, Magnanimous. Ollie Doys John. Ollie Doys John. Okay. Luca, good evening. Craig Seattle, good evening. Freebird. Cause I'm a free bird. Yeah, Big Fish 173. 1973. Sorry about that. Pearly, good evening, Miss Pearly. Brother KS, what's going on? B Teds for life. B Teds. Okay. Millie, good evening. Sergio, no. I'm assuming that's the way you pronounce that one. Irish, good evening. All right, so you guys don't have anything for me to look at, so let me just throw out some of the things that I'm looking at. Steve Jones, you only trade on 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, it's called the 10-minute trader for a reason. John, how you doing? Captain Obvious, back again. Good evening. Okay, Papa wants to take a look at MSTY. So, Papa, let me just briefly explain to you what I'm looking for, and hopefully that will help out some of you other ones. MSTY is an interesting company. Now, when I say, Papa, that I want 2 decades of consistent profitability, MSTY is not even 5 years old. There's no possible way on God's green earth is MSTY going to fit in this little genre, so to speak. Okay? It may look nice. It may look pretty. It may give you, a dividend every single month. But they're not even 5 years old yet. Okay, so anything can go wrong between now and then. Steve Jones, any reason? Any reason? I trade only for 10 minutes? Well, now, Steve, let me just explain to you briefly why I only trade for 10 minutes a day. Well, number one, I'm 61. I have better things to do. I stopped trading my time for money a long time ago. Secondly, I'm only looking to grab 1%. I use one strategy. It's very simple. I take one look at it. Now, as I progress through the evening, you'll see some of what I do, and it will click. You'll say, oh, that's all it takes? Yeah, that's all it takes. Now, Steve, the trading strategy I'm going to share with you was created for my 9-year-old daughter. Back in 2008, she crawled on my lap and said, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? That's what she literally said, can you teach me? So a 9-year-old wants to learn how to trade stocks. Well, most adults don't even know how to do it. So how am I going to make a trading strategy for a 9-year-old? Simple, safe, predictable, consistent. That's what it had to be. Along with it, it came up with 5 rules. The 5 rules were pretty simple. Never buy something you don't understand. Never sell at a loss. Make sure the company is consistently profitable. Weekly options only. And then make sure the numbers work. Now, we're going to go over each section of that as the night progresses. I'm usually on at 9 until 11:30, but tonight I went to a concert. Went to see Todd Rundgren. I don't know if some of you guys know him or not, but he was big back in the 70s and 80s. That being said, he's the one who came up with the song, I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drums all day. Yep, that was him. Anyway, so that being said, the companies have to be consistently profitable. MSTY doesn't have 20 years of profitability. So that's a no. All right? Yep, I love Todd too. A little disappointed the scenario. He didn't sing a lot of his songs. Anyway. Let's see. I got a couple of stocks you guys flipped on by me. What were they? Fabi, how are you doing? Justin CTX. Good afternoon, Justin CTX. Freebird, because he's a free bird. Craig Seattle. Good. Big Fish. Pearly B. What's going on? Millie. Good evening. Irish. What do we got here? When? Okay. Lambo. Oh, When Lambo. Interesting name. All right. So Collect with Lulu wants to take a look at Cube. Now, Lulu, I'm pretty sure Cube has not been around that long. So let's find out. Okay, I want to go to Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance. We're going to look up Cube because I don't think Cube has 20 years of profitability behind them. C-U-B-E-N. C-U-B-E. There it is right there. Cube Smart. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they haven't been around that long. What's going over here? What's happening? Steve Jones, Cool Beans, the boss. What's going on? Just got in, Papa. Not a problem. Not a problem. But Papa, I'm pretty sure you'll come up with something. Sam, I like SYK amongst numerous others. Now, Sam, I've been doing this for a while. Now, for the most part, I know almost all the stocks that have 2 decades of profitability and weekly options. SYK is not really ringing any bells, so to speak. At this moment, we're looking at Cube, C-U-B-E. We're going straight now. I always tell everyone, if you're going to be investing, you really need a financial website at your disposal. Well, I use Yahoo Finance. Now, you can use Google Finance. You can use NYCE or NYSE, NASDAQ. You can use almost anything. All right, so let's take a look at the dividends for this. Okay. Now, remember I said 2 decades? 2 decades is 20 years. So 2005, let's check out the numbers and see what it looks like. So 2005, we're at 20. Goes to 28, 29. This is not good. It goes from 29 to 18. That's not good. 18 goes to 25. Then it drops to 7, goes to 8, 11, 13, 16, 21, 27, 30, 32, 33, 34, 43, 49, 51, 52. Okay, so they're a little bit bumpy. A little bit bumpy down. What year was that? 11. Okay, so 2009, we're at 25. No, holy cow. I was reading that all wrong. Okay, 2008, we're at 18. 2009, we're at 2.5. That's not 25, that's 2.5. Oh, hell no. But she did recover 2011. So from 2011 to present, yeah, not 20 years. All right. So Cube's not going to cut it. Let's take a look at the numbers because we're here anyway. C-U-B-E. No. Oh, come on. Monthly? I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Okay, Lulu, monthlies don't work for this trading strategy. Let's go to Mickey D's because Mickey D's does work, and I have bought Mickey D's before. Whoa, I'm going to say no for getting into it only because it takes 3 to 4 seconds to analyze a 1-year chart. Let me briefly show you what I'm looking for, and maybe it might make sense. I'm looking for 5 things and 5 things in particular. You ready? Number 1, the high of the year. Number 2, the low of the year. Number 3, where was it a year ago? Number 4, where is it now? Number 5, what is the overall direction? I should call it the simplified direction. Down, up, down, up. Simplified, right? Look at where we are right now. That right there is going to be a no. Let me zoom into it so you get a better idea. Now, for those of you who don't know, and those of you that are new here, the screen behind me, this screen, just the screen, not me standing in front of it, just the screen behind me is live on YouTube. Because on your phone and on your laptop or sometimes on your, whatever you're watching it on, if the screen's not big enough, you're not going to see all these little numbers. Okay? Now, I have no idea how to make this screen bigger. Okay? I mean, it's a pretty big screen. But if you can't see the numbers, well, then how are you going to follow along? That's why this is live. That is live on YouTube. All right. To find it, just go up to the bio. Okay, every single website. Now, I got 7 websites going. I know for a fact each and every one has a bio, which is a little bit of information about me and what I do. In that bio is a link to my website, The 10-Minute Trader. Okay? Now, let's keep on progressing. So, Mickey D's is going to be a no only because it is at the high of the year today. I don't buy at the high of the year. So if you really like Mickey D's, you probably should have jumped in 2 weeks ago when it made its bottom right here. Okay, here's the high, the previous high. Okay, profit taken, dropped it down to here, and then it goes back up again, and now we're at another high. So what do you think is going to happen here? Well, more than likely, people are going to start taking profits because you got a bottom here, 290. Now we're at 319. That is a $29 increase. A $29 increase on a $290 stock is 10%. So she jumps up 10%. What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what. If it was me and my stock went up 10%, I'd take it. Thank you kindly and move on to the next one. Because guess what? Stocks go up, then they come down. Then they go up, and then they come down. And then they go up. What do you think they're going to do next? That's all they do. They do not come to your house. They do not wash the dishes. They don't take the dog out for a walk. They don't even make the bed. They don't do anything other than go up and go down. If you like McDonald's, now I like McDonald's, I do, okay? But I'm not going to buy it at the high of the year. That makes no sense to me. Because I know stocks go up, then they go down. Then they go up, then they go down. Well, in about 2 weeks, this thing's probably going to come back down to a more reasonable spot where I might jump in. I might think about it. So I'm going to write Mickey D's down for 2 weeks from today. Because I'm going to give it 2 weeks to make that move. MCD. Look at that. Now we got 7 stocks we're looking at in 2 weeks. All right, that being said, no to Mickey D's for this week. It's not no, it's just not this week. Okay, I like McDonald's. Not this week. All right, that's all that means, not this week. All right, what else do we got? Sam likes SYK. Now, Sam, I don't really know who SYK is. Striker. No. Sam, when I say weekly options only, what comes to mind? I'm kind of curious. Weekly options only. This thing has monthlies. 16 May, 20 June, 19 September, 19 December. Those are months of the year. Months of the year. I want weekly options. Look something like this. 25 April, 2 May, 9 May, 16 May, 23 May, 30 May, 20 June, 18 July. Those are weeklies, which means every 7 days I can do another covered call. And if I'm looking for 1% every 7 days, that's over 50% per year. Well, that's okay with me. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to buy a stock and hold it for 10, 20 years. No. I'm 61. There's no guarantee for tomorrow for me. I want to make sure I have a nice amount coming in every single week so that I can pay my bills and I'm not going to burden my children with a big old debt when I'm gone. I don't think value matters in a bull market. You haven't heard SYK, then you're not serious. Well, I'm terribly sorry to disappoint you, Sam, but I have a strict way of investing. 20 years of consistent profitability and weekly options. Okay, just to be the bearer of bad news here for a second, Sam, there's over 10,036 different companies in the stock market. 10,000. Okay, SYK doesn't fit my criteria. So why would I know it? Simple, you know? So why would I know something that doesn't fit? Anyway, let's keep on progressing forward. But I like the way you say that. If I don't know SYK, then you're not serious. I like that. Automatically assuming that my 30 or 20 some odd years of investing is, pointless and useless because I don't know one company out of 10,000. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep on moving forward. What do we have here? O-Town Comics. Cool beans. Jazz, what's happening? Hey, James just joined you at 10:20. Have you looked at AAP yet? Nope. Looks good to me for options. Now, I know who AAP is, Advanced Auto Parts, because they've been around for more than 20 years, and they have weekly options. So yeah, I know who those are. All right, so let's take a look. Advanced Auto Parts, and to let you know, yes, I do own some Advanced Auto Parts. So let's take a look at the numbers and see if it makes sense. Now, today's Tuesday. Today's here and gone. Tomorrow's going to be Wednesday, which means we only have 3 days left, 3 trading days left of this week. So more than likely, when we look for the numbers on a covered call, we're probably not going to find something for this week because there's only 3 days left. So we'll probably most likely look at options for next week. Okay, now I normally don't buy stocks on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I do most of my buying on Monday and Tuesday so that I know I have a nice cash flow coming in on a weekly basis. Because the most money you're going to make is selling an option on a Monday because you have 5 days of time value. Tuesday, you got 4 days of time value. Okay, Wednesday, you got 3 days of time value. In 3 days of time value, you're probably not going to get 1%. Okay, so Advanced Auto Parts. High, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Down, sideways, down, sideways, up, down, up, down. Now we're right here at 32.94. Now, if I'm going to buy some more, now I already own some. If I'm going to buy some more and enter into a new position, 32.94, the closest strike price to 32.94, it's going to be 33, right? 33. The 33s are going for 71 cents a share. Now, 71 cents per share is more than 2%. Well, if I can get 2%, hell, that's a lot better than 1%. Because 2% every single week comes to over 100% per year. Can you imagine that, doubling your money every year? Well, that would be awesome if you could get 2%. Well, let's find out. All right, first and foremost, a year ago was the high of the year, 79.54. The last 90 days, which we'd be looking at the 22nd, January 22nd, right there. Here we go. The last 90 days, look closely. High, low is, look at the motion. Up, down, now it's going back up again. It's actually easy to see. When I said it was created for a 9-year-old, okay, now my daughter was not a Mensa student. Which I don't know if all you know what a Mensa student is. That means someone at the top of the class, smarter than smart. No, she was just an average, everyday, normal little girl. Okay, she wanted to learn. I had to come up with a simple, easy strategy. So just follow the bouncing ball. Up, down, up, down, up. Well, it's going up. Great. Now, what do the numbers look like? Now, when I say what do the numbers look like, well, it's simple. What am I buying it for? Bid, ask. This is the price I'm buying it for. Okay? Once I buy it at 34, well, actually, it should be 33 because the last trade was 32.94. So we're going to go with 33 because the last trade right there. See it? Last trade, 32.94. We're going to go with the 33s. So if I'm going to buy it for 32.94, I'm going to sell somebody the right, not the obligation, through what is called a stock option, a call stock option. I'm going to sell somebody the right, not the obligation, to buy it from me at a certain price by a certain date. Okay, if you did not know, stock options are insurance policies. That's the way they first were originally intended. Okay, so if you had a big stock portfolio and you didn't want to lose any money, okay, if you were afraid the stock was going down, you would buy a put option. So as the stock went down, the put option went up. That way you wouldn't lose any money. Same thing with the call options. Okay? Now, someone somewhere along the line, because options came available in the 70s, it didn't take long for someone to figure out how to manipulate them to make money on them. So a covered call, basically, I would buy the stock, sell a call option for someone to buy it from me for the exact same price I paid for it, collect a 1% or 2% premium every single week, and then be on my way. Okay, I'm not looking to own the stock. I'm looking to use the stock as a cash flowing asset. So I'm going to put money into a cash flowing asset, the one we're looking at now, Advanced Auto Parts. Does it make sense? Do you like it? Well, let's keep on going. All right. I want to take a look at the last 30 days. Because even though the last 90 days tells me up, down, now it's going back up again, how far up is it going to go? I don't know. Well, let's zoom in a little bit tighter and look at the last 30 days. That would be 3 right there. No, all right. 37 jumps up to 42, drops down to 29. Okay, back up, back down, back up. Okay, now we're at 32, almost 33. Well, that looks good to me. I'm okay with owning Advanced Auto Parts. Now, that's a big question. Big question. First question should be, does this make sense? Second question should be, do I like this stock? Do I want to own it, and do I want to hold it for however long it takes to hit my target? Well, if I'm buying it at $32.94 and I'm selling it at 33, well, how long do you think it's going to take for it to hit 33? Especially when it's in an uptrending motion. Okay, the bottom's right here. Now she's going up. You're going to make most of your money buying at the bottom and selling as it goes up. So this one, as you can clearly see, this point right here is the bottom for the year. Okay, this thing was at 80 a year ago. Now, down below 30. That is more than a 50% drop. Well, more than a 50% drop makes you kind of ask yourself, can it go down further? Well, it could. Is it going to? That's another question. Okay, because it could, but it doesn't mean it's going to. Rare username for what stock? We're looking at Advanced Auto Parts, AAP. All right, so I like it. So let's see what a covered call for Advanced Auto Parts would look like for this week. Remember, there's only 3 days left. So let's look at both this week and next week, and then we'll compare the two. Okay, so you want to write down these numbers. All right, so we're going to do the 33, 25 April, which is this Friday. Okay, 25 April, and then next week is 2 May. This Friday, next Friday. We're going to do both of them, and you decide which one sounds better to you. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this to covered call. The one thing I love about Thinkorswim, this is a trading platform. Oh, check that out. Thinkorswim is, everything is preset. I just click on the button and it does everything for me. So I like the 33, so come down here. Here's the 33 right there. Just one contract. So that way you know how much money you have. Does it make sense? How much am I going to make? What's my return? You know, all those answers are coming up. Okay, here's the order right here. Buy one covered call, AAP, which is Advanced Auto Parts, 100, which is the weekly, just letting the market maker know that this is a weekly trade. 25 April 25, which means this contract is going to expire at 3:59 p.m. this coming Friday. Because at 4 p.m., you can't do anything. So if you're an option buyer, I'm not an option buyer, I'm an option seller. 80% of all options expire worthless. I do not want to buy them. I don't want to be on the 20% end. No, thank you. I prefer to be on the 80% end. I want to sell options. Now, granted, it is very slow. It is very monotonous because we're doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. It's monotonous. It's boring as hell. I don't know why the hell you guys are here. Okay, but the simple thing, the simple facts. I love simple facts. Okay, if it's a good company, yeah, I got to pay. All right, see, I'm 61, I'm retired. My money has to come from somewhere. I'm too young to get what do you call that? Social Security. Okay, and I seen what they're offering. Okay, for me to collect Social Security, it's not even enough to pay my phone bill or my electric bill. So yeah, I got to do it myself. So all the money I've accumulated over my working life, now I've been working since 1973, just in case you guys were wondering. So I'm retired. So all the money I've earned over the years has to last me for the rest of my life, and I have to make enough to pay bills. Great. So I have to be able to do it every single week. That's why I like this strategy. All right, so the $33 call option against the stock at the market to open, it's 2 trades in one. I'm buying the stock, I'm selling the option. Okay? Now, what rate of return am I getting on this trade? Well, the profit is only $50.50. That's not a whole heck of a lot. So let's get out the calculator. Bring the calculator over onto the screen over here. Okay, so $50.50 divided by what is the trade costing me? Well, 3,250. 3,250 comes to a grand total of 1.55% for 3 days. Think about it. 1.55% for 3 days. So what's going to happen? Well, number one, tomorrow morning I will buy 100 shares or 500 or 900, whatever you guys can afford. Okay? Now, I'm also going to sell somebody the rights to buy it from me for the exact same price I paid for it. That way, I'm in, I'm out. What has to happen to the stock? It just stays where it is. Okay, it's at 32.94. I want to hit 33. Well, it could hit 33 by Friday. It might not. So let's look at both scenarios. If it hits 33 or higher, I get all my money back plus the profit. That's what I'm doing this for. Now, what happens if it's at 32.99 come Friday afternoon? Well, come Friday afternoon, 32.99, well, nobody's taking that stock away from me this week. And then I take all that stock into next week and I sell another covered call. So every single week, if I own a stock, I'm going to sell a covered call against it every single week. Because I don't know about you guys, I get bills every single month. Can you imagine that? Didn't I just pay this damn bill and they want more money from me? I'm sure you've all said that before. Okay? Didn't I just pay this damn bill? Okay, hold on a second. So I don't mind 1.55% for the week. I don't. But let's take a look at next week's option. Because we can do this week's option, but there's 3 days left, 155, okay? So next week, let's get out of here. Get out of there. Let's go here and May 2nd, okay? All I did is just change the date. Now, let's see how much we're making now. Same trade, but instead of the option expiring in this week, the option is going to expire next week. So now we have 10 days for the stock to go up over 33. All right, but buy one covered call Advanced Auto Parts, AAP 100, that's the weekly, to May 25. So this one expires next Friday. The $33 call option against the stock at the market to open. Okay, here's the profit. Here the profit is $92.50. So what does that extra 5 days get us? Calculator, clear that. Profit is $92.50 divided by almost the exact same amount of money, $3,208. Now that's 2.88%. That's almost twice as much. Me personally, I do this week's first, grab that 1.55, and then next Monday, if I still own it, see what it looks like next Monday. That's me, because I want weekly cash flow. Okay? Okay, what's the monthly overhead you are trying to cover in bills with trading? Well, how about I put it to you this way, Jason? The trades that I do on a weekly basis cover my monthly obligations and give me some extra money to go hang out with my grandson, hang out with my kids, help my mom out a little bit. I'm doing just fine. Don't worry about me. What I'm looking for, Jason, is 1% per week. So let's say hypothetically I got 50,000. A $50,000 account, I want 1%, which is 500 a week. Okay, a $100,000 account, 1% a week would be $8,000 a week. Whatever number you're looking at, you just move the decimal point over a couple spaces, and that's what I'm going to get. So a $500,000 account, I'm looking to get $5,000 a week. Just 1%. Okay? Glad you like it. Okay, Aaron Hepp. How are you doing today, Aaron? APA 15 covered call at 1550 now. 16 roll at 1550, collect 2%, or 16 and collect 0. Well, Aaron, it's all going to depend on what did you buy it for. Now, if you bought it at 15 and you're selling the 15s or the 1550s and you're collecting 2%, great. See, without seeing the whole trade, it's hard for me to understand what you're doing. Andrea, how are you doing today? There's a lot of discussion around AutoZone and how it's a good stock during recession. Well, look at it this way, Andrea. During a recession, okay, if this is what you want to call it, okay, it's a little bit of an interesting scenario is what I want to call it. Because it's called changing of the guards. All right, same thing. Out with the old administration, in with the new. Okay, I've never seen anything so awkward in all my days. See, I remember back in the days where a president was elected and everybody was rooting for the president, regardless of who he was. I've never seen such craziness by Americans. Actually, as I was saying, during a recession, most people aren't going to take their cars to a garage and have it fixed. They'll probably fix it at home. Only way to do that is to find a place to buy the parts. Captain Obvious, MSTY pays the best dividends. If Bitcoin drops, so does MSTY. Okay, so Captain Obvious, let me explain something that apparently you're missing. Okay, when I say I want a company, I want to put my money. Okay, this is me. I want to put my money into a company that has consistently been profitable for 2 decades. Misty's not even 3 or 5 years old yet. Into the blue, would you recommend selling covered calls against calls or holding calls for dividends only? Oh, no. Everything I own, every single stock I own has to earn its own weight, okay, or earn its own keep. So yeah, I write a covered call on everything I own. And yes, I do have calls in about 5 different accounts. So yeah, I have quite a bit of calls. Opinion on lows. Peter, good evening. I love that 109 countries. Okay, Matthew, I'm kind of curious. What are you saying about 109 countries? Did Todd play just one victory? Okay, John, I was very disappointed in the concert, only because I was under the impression Todd was going to be singing his own songs. But no, Todd was singing songs from Burt Bacharach. Okay, fine, but that's not what I wanted to go see. Okay? Into the blue, you're welcome. Before I forget, if any of you out there, now I got 7 different channels going, so it's challenging for me to see each and every individual question. What I say every single night is simply this: if you really want to have a conversation about your investing, non-biased, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Drop me your number in a DM and I will personally give you a call. Now, there are 2 people on my list. I didn't get to call them today. I will call them tomorrow. I do, personally, me. Nobody in, none of my crew, none of my employees make phone calls but me. You leave me a number, I will give you a call, and I promise you, I guarantee you, I will not try to sell you anything. Okay? I just like talking to people and seeing what it is they're doing, what it is they're trying to achieve, and is there a way that I can help out? That's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to share my knowledge. That's it. All right. That being said, let's keep on going. So, Aaron, let's pull. Wait a second. We haven't done the numbers here yet. Let's get out the calculator and see what this number looks like. Didn't we already do this one? Yeah, we did. All right. So let's get out of here. We did this one already. So getting old does not, not always that good. I have a tendency to forget things. Simple things. It's a tragedy. All right, so that's Advanced Auto Parts. Oh, wait a minute. Look at the last 30 days with Advanced Auto Parts. Check a look at that. 30 days ago, we're at 38. Jumps up to 42. Drops all the way down to 29. Goes up, goes down. Now she's got 2 days to the upside. Yesterday and today. So it's going up from the bottom here. So how far up is it going to go? Don't know. No, like I said, I already own some. So look at that. Scott Cook is in the house. How's it going, Scott? Alrighty. So is it possible to do both with Kohl's? Into the blue, absolutely. Now, into the blue, let's take a look at Kohl's for a second. Now, I do have Kohl's, like I said, in about 5 different accounts. I'm into it at 16, I believe. 16. Okay, right now, it's at 6. Well, I'm into it at 16. Okay, I have no desire whatsoever to sell at a loss. So if I have it at 16 and it's currently at 676, well, I'm most likely going to sell the 7s or the 750s or the 8s. Well, the 7s are going for 12, 750s are going for 3s, 8s are going for nothing, but that's only 3 days. Let's see what it looks like for next week. Well, next week, the 7s are going for 24. Well, yeah, I like that one. That's over 3% if you're jumping into it. Now, I'm already into it at 16, so I'm not going to sell the 7s. That's way too close to where the action is. I'll be looking at the 750s or the 8s. Now, the 750s are going for 5 to 14. So that might be good. The 8s, 4 to 7. Not as good. So I'll probably do the 750s or the 8s for next week. Because I might not get 1% on my Kohl's. But if I can get a 0.5%, well, that's 26% per year. Well, I think that's pretty good, especially with a stock that was at 28. Now it's at 6. So yeah, now I bought it, like I said, at 16 back in November when I was at 16. Every single week, even though the stock went down in value, every single week, it brought me in some cash flow. So as the stock's dropping, I'm still bringing in money every single week. That makes sense to me. Steve Pierce, how are you doing tonight? Okay, Matthew, I kind of want to know what you mean by 109 countries. I have no idea what that means. Okay, so Aaron, let's take a look at APA just to see what you were talking about. Now, Aaron, I do have some APA in one account. First thing I want to see, the high, the low, where was it, where is it? Look at the motion, down, sideways, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, great. We're at 1586 was the last trade today. So what's the closest strike price to 1586? A kind of childish question, isn't it? The closest number to 1586 is going to be 16. Well, this week 16 is going for 31, which is just a smidge below 2%. Well, next week's 16 is going for 36. I'd go for this week's, get the 31 this week, and then maybe get some more next week. That's me. What do I know? But here's the thing. Does it make sense? Look at the bounce right there. That looks awesome. So let's take a closer look. A year ago, Apache's at 32.38. The high of the year was at 33.40. Now it's the beginning of August. Okay, the last 3 months, which is the last 90 days. High, low is, look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Come on, really? It can't get any simpler than that. It is in an upward trend right now. But there's one thing you got to look out for an upward trend like this. Let's zoom in to 30 days and see where we think it might be going next. Okay, 30 days ago, 2050 jumps up to 2150. Big drop down to here, just below 14. Now it's going back up again. Okay, so it's going back up again. So what am I looking at? The 16s? Well, we already seen what the 16s are offering. The 16s are offering right around 2%. Well, I like 2%. If I can get 2% every single week, I will hold on to the stocks that I have. But it doesn't always work that way. I don't know why I'm even dealing with this Facebook camera. Come on, right there. See, I don't know why I'm dealing with the Facebook camera. Nobody ever even shows up on Facebook. Seriously, nobody even shows up on Facebook. So why even bother, going live on Facebook? I don't know. Anyway, so let's take a look at Apache, the 16. First thing I want to do is change to covered stock. The 16 right there. One contract. Just one. At the market, because I want fill first thing in the morning. And here it is. Buy one covered call of Apache 100, 25, April 25, which means it's going to expire this coming Friday. So let's see what it does. The $16 call option against the APA stock at the market. Here's the profit, 46. Here's the investment, 1,500. Well, that should be a relatively nice number. Okay. 46.50 divide 1,500. 15.54. Grand total of 2.99. I'm going to write that one down. APA 2.99. 2.99. Funny thing is, Monday, okay, now, you saw me writing something down. I write stuff down all the time. I don't trust computers as far as I can throw them. But you can't see this, but APA is right here for Monday, which was 2 days ago. And the return we got on APA 2 days ago was 4.2. So today it's at 2.99. So 2 days have gone by. So had I bought it on Monday, I would have meant 4.2%. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I'm only going to get 2.99%. That's why I like doing things on Monday. You get more time value. All right, so let's keep on going. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. Let's go back to this and go back to this and let's pick another one. All righty. Oh, Peter wants to take a look at Lowe's. Now, if you didn't know, Lowe's is what is called a dividend king. Okay, a dividend king is a company that has consistently increased its profitability for 5 decades. 5 decades, that's 50 years. Some of you people in the audience aren't even 50 years old yet. But Lowe's has consistently been profitable for over 5 decades. Home Depot is the exact same. All right. How do you extend covered calls? You extend them by rolling them forward. What does that mean? Well, if I sell an option for 25 April 25, which is this Friday, in order to roll it forward, you hit the button that says roll forward, okay? And then you just fill in the numbers. So if I want to roll forward, I have to buy back whatever option it is and then sell the next week's. So that way I bring in more money. Okay, so lows. High, low, was, is. Look at the direction. Up, down, up, down. What's going on here? Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Before we do, here's the number. 219.07. Well, the closest strike price is going to be 219. Well, they don't have a 219. They got a 2750 and a 220. All right, well, let's look at the 220. Well, the 220 for this week is 192. No. The 220 for next week is $4. Hell yeah. That's a little bit less than 2%, but it's lows. I love lows. All right, so that being said, let's take a closer look. A year ago, Lowe's was at 231. The high of the year, 287. And now that was the middle of October last year. Last 90 days, high, low, was, is, look at this, down, up, down, up, down. Well, is it changing direction here? It looks like it could be. So this looks like one, I'm going to say, let's hold off a bit because I don't know what it's doing. Look, okay, 225 jumps up to 235, pulls back to 207, back up 225, back down. Now, is it changing direction or is it still going down? I like 2 days to the upside. Well, today is only 1 day to the upside. Okay, so today is 1 day changing direction. So is it changing direction or is this anomaly? So me, personally, I wait 3 days because I want 2 days of the upside. On the third day, if the third day is up, that's where I will jump in. Okay, now I've been trading a long time. I try not to jump the gun and buy something when it doesn't look right or at the time. It's a certain recipe I look for. A plus B equals C. Antoine, what about Hertz? Hold on a second. We'll take a look at that one. Ooh, now Asher just asked an interesting question. Can you lose a lot with covered calls? The only way you lose money with a covered call, Asher, is hitting the wrong button. Now, as childish as that seems, you would be totally amazed by how many people actually hit the wrong button. Now, I've been trading close to 30 years. Close. Okay? I hit the wrong button all the time. I buy instead of sell. I sell instead of buy. It happens. You may think it's childish, and you may think you are not going to do it, but yep, everyone does it. I haven't met a single trader who has not hit the wrong button at one point in time. So let's keep on looking. So, but other than that, Asher, the only way you're going to lose on a covered call is by not paying attention to what's going on. Because first and foremost, okay, rule number one, remember, never buy something. Okay, hold on, Asher. Rule number one, never buy something you do not want to hold on to. Okay, so if I buy Lowe's at 220, which is the current price, okay, and I sell somebody the rights to buy it from me at 220, well, I'm not losing. The only way I can lose is if the stock drops. Let's say it drops from 220 down to 200, which it's possible, okay? It was 207 a couple of weeks ago. So if I buy it at 220 and it drops down to 210 or 200, okay, and then I sell another covered call at 210 or 215, and then the stock goes up and somebody buys it from me from 200 or 215, less than what I paid for it, that's one way you can lose money. But remember the 5 rules, Asher. Rule number one, never buy something you don't want to hold on to for the rest of your life. So can you lose that way? No. Because number one, you're buying something that you want to hold on to for the rest of your life. Now, Lowe's, well, they increase their dividends every single year for 5 decades. That's 50 years. Every single year they've increased their dividend, which means you really can't lose with Lowe's unless you sell it for less than what you paid for it. So basically, that's how you can lose. Okay, so right now, the price is $219.07. So if I buy it at $219.07 and I sell it for less than $219.07, well then, yeah, I will lose money. Okay, if you sell a covered call for less than what you paid for it, yeah, you can lose money. But other than that, you really can't lose. Do you consider taxes with trading or no? If you continue to recycle profits and losses. Randy, good evening, and thank you for that. Thank you, Asher. So Randy, to answer your question, I don't consider taxes. Okay, I'm really hoping that the old boy up in the Oval Office says, no taxes for retired people. I'm retired. I can make a shit ton of money and not pay taxes for it. I'm all for it. Yay, Mr. President. Let's see if you can get it done. Wow, that's weird. Drag the slider to fit the puzzle. Interesting. So hopefully that makes sense. So Randy, what I tell people is when they're setting up the account, when you're setting up your account, consult with a tax strategist or a tax planner. Okay, so if you're concerned about taxes, it is your responsibility to make sure you set up your account in a manner in which you do not have to pay taxes or you can decrease your tax liabilities. Okay, now, next question over here. Steve. Hey, James, Mara is an interesting options. Okay, but would you want to own it? Okay, Steve Pierce, I actually already own Mara in several different accounts. Yay, baby's in the house. Yay, baby, what's happening? Okay. Can you explain covered puts? I don't do covered puts. Sorry. But most people call them cash secured puts. That's where you put up a big fat chunk of money and you sell an option, which means you're selling somebody the right to sell you something at a certain price by a certain date. Same thing as a covered call, but it's a covered put instead. So you're hoping the stock goes down, that way you don't have to buy it and you get all your money back. Same scenario. You put up a big chunk of money and you get a return on it on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on which options you use. Me, I like weekly options only. I don't do monthly options. Now, I used to do monthly options years ago because I didn't understand the weeklies. But now that I understand them, it's like, that makes sense. Into the blue, what do you think about TSCO? Hell no. Dividend small, but stores are being built somewhere like Dollar General. Yeah, Tractor Supply, TSCO. All right, well, let's take a look at Tractor Supply. I like Tractor Supply. TSCO. And here we go. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at the motion, up, down, up, down, up, down. What's going on here? This is what I'm interested in. But before we zoom in, is it going to be worth our while? Well, what is the price? Well, the price is $50.28. Well, here's an interesting conundrum. Well, it's close to the 51 and it's close to the 50. Which one do I choose? Well, the $50 option, or the strike price, is going to be a safer bet. But the 51, well, that's going to be a little bit more profitable, but the stock has to move up. So the 50, remember the stock is at 50.28. Okay? The 50 is going for $1.50. Well, that's a hell yeah. That's 3%. Okay? The 51 is going for 90. Well, that's only 2%. Okay. Which one makes more sense? Well, let's take a look at all the numbers and see if it is even a good trade for this week, or do we have to wait a little bit longer? Now, don't get me wrong. I like Tractor Supply. I have bought them many times when everything is right, when the numbers look good. Now, Steve, I am going to look at Mara as soon as we're done with this one. Okay, so sit tight. We'll take a look at that one in a little bit. A year ago, Tractor Supply is at 50.82. Well, that's kind of weird. A year ago at 50.82, now we're at 50.28. It's like, what happened all year? Nothing was there. Anyway. Hey, Antron, we're also going to take a look at Hertz after we take a look at Mara. So Mara next, then Hertz. All right. 50 last year. The high of the year, 61.64. Okay, look at the high, 61. Bottom is 47. That's not that big of a difference. Some stocks have lost 50, 60, 70% of their value from their high. Well, this one, not so much. Last 90 days. Okay. High, low is, look at this. This one you can really see the movement. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's in an upward trend at the moment. Do you like Tractor Supply? That's a big question. Well, that's question number 2. Question number 1 is, does it make sense? Okay, number 1, does it make sense? Am I buying a good company? Am I holding on to it? Are they consistently profitable? Are they increasing their dividends every 90 days? Well, some companies pay out every 30 days. But what is the rate of return? Because it's nice that they're paying every month, but if the rate of return is not high enough, well, it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? We're not investing for other people's benefit. We're investing for our own benefit. Now, I know that sounds a little selfish, but if I'm putting my money on the line, I want a rate of return, and I want a consistent return every single week. All right, so let's keep on taking a look. The last 30 days for Tractor Supply, right there. That's pretty easy to see. Okay, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, now I wouldn't jump in quite yet, even though you get your bottom here and it's going up this way. I'd wait for another day or two, go to the upside. Okay, but here's the thing. 50.28, the 50 is going for 150. Okay, that's close to 3%. So that kind of works for me. All right, what else we got here? All right. Next, Antoine. No, we're going to look at Mara next, then Hertz. Okay. All right, James Brochu. At what point is it worth rolling for a debit? Absolute last resort. Yeah, see, James, we've had this conversation before. Okay, now, anytime you have to roll a position from one week into another week, there's a lot of different numbers you can play with. Me personally, I don't want to have to pay to roll my position forward. Because when you're rolling a position forward, well, you're doing it for several different reasons. 1, capture a little bit more of the stock increase. That's number 1. Number 2, get an additional premium. Okay, if it's more than 1%, great. A third reason, well, because you want to avoid being called out. If the stock drops a little bit and you don't want to sell it quite yet, roll it into another week, give you a little bit more time for the stock to move in the right direction. See, that's one of the reasons why I have a morning trading group. A lot of people don't know all this stuff. Now, I didn't know anything about rolling a position forward. It was 2 years ago, someone explained it to me and showed me how to do it. And it's like, holy cow, if I knew that, I wouldn't have had any losses the previous year. Well, this year, we are into week number 17, okay, for the year. Okay, the first quarter is done and over with. Okay, so the first quarter, the first 3 months, January, February, March, done, gone. We're halfway through April, which means we're halfway through the first month of the second quarter. Okay, now I have 2 losses since the beginning of the year. That's it, just 2 losses. Now, you may think that's not a big thing, or you may think I don't do a lot of trades. Well, let me enlighten you just a smidge. All right, so now I have 7 accounts. I share 3 of them publicly. Which one's this one? All right, here we go. week 2025. Okay, so here's all my trades for just this year alone. Just this year. Okay, now all my trades for 2024, they have their own page. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, you can click on any one of these. Count all the trades. Okay, that's just one account. Here's another account. Count all those trades. Okay, and another account. Count all those trades. Okay, that's just 1 week. That is week 14. Now, we're in week 17. That's just 1 week. Okay, here's week 15. Look at all those trades. Okay, week 15, account 2. Week 15, account 3. Okay, now, you go all the way back until January. All the way, that's week 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right there. Count every single trade I've done so far this year. I've only lost on 2. And one of them was not any one of these accounts. It was on my Robinhood account, which isn't on here. So what you're looking at here, all these trades, only 1 trade I lost, and out of all of those you see. That's a couple of hundred trades to have only 1 loss. All right, we don't need to see that. Back to here, TSCO, great. If the numbers work, wonderful. Okay, now we want to take a look at Mara, M-A-R-A. Now, I do own Mara in a few different accounts. Just want to let you know. If I own something, I'm going to tell you. However, did you see that right there? It takes 3 to 4 seconds to observe and rate. That's a good one. Rate a chart. Okay? So here's the rating for this chart. High, low, was, is, up, down, up. Simple, right? However, look at right here. Now, most of you probably can't see this on your iPhone or whatever phone you're using, or your iPad or whatever pad you're using. But on YouTube, where this is live, you can see this right here. Let me zoom in and show you. Okay, look at that big jump right there. Now, I'm going to say no to Mara for this week. Now, I already own it, but I'm saying no for this week as a jumping into it type scenario. I don't want to jump into it. Only because, look at the bottom here, 950. And it jumps all the way up to 14. So from 950 to 14, I only trade SPY calls and puts. John, good for you. I don't trust Okay, John, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just for you, John, we're going to take a look at SPY. So sit tight, and I'll show you why I don't trade SPY. I'll show you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to stay away from Mara this week. Okay? And the reason being, from here to here is more than a 25% increase. So more than likely at a 25% increase, there's going to be profit taken, which means this is going to come back down again. So that's why I'm not going to jump into that one. Okay, so let's just skip over Mara. Sorry. Antoine, Hertz. Let's take a look at Hertz. HTZ. Now, I do have a whole bunch of Hertz. I do. But I bought Hertz in the $4 area. Now it's way up here. I don't get any of that, because when I bought it here at $4, I sold somebody the rights to buy it from me at $4. Well, the thing doubled in price. Do I get any of that? No, I don't. I do get my 2% though, because somebody paid me 2% for that option. Now, am I upset about that? Nah, not really. Because all right, here's an old saying. Bears and bulls make money, pigs get slaughtered. That means basically share the wealth. Don't be greedy. Let someone else have some profit too. So yeah, I bought it at 4, sold somebody the rights to buy it from me at 4. Okay, now they have the right to buy it from me at 4, and it's at 8.52. So they can double or quadruple their money, because whatever they paid for that option, they can sell it for a lot more now. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to buy any more until that thing drops. So Steve, you own some Tractor Supply. They only import 10% of their products. Alrighty then. Alrighty, so John, it's time to pick on you for a little bit. Now the reason why I'm saying picking on you for a little bit, because you trade SPY. I don't trade SPY, and I'm going to explain to you why I don't trade SPY. Now, my reasoning has got nothing to do with Thinkorswim. We're going to go to a financial website and see exactly the numbers, the fundamental numbers of SPY, because that gives you a better idea of why I don't trade SPY. SPY. All right, John, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Right there. Spiders S&P 500 ETF SPY. This is it right here, right? $527 per share. Okay, that's what it's going for. Let's check out and see how wonderful they increase their profitability. Because a profit of a company, a stock, an ETF, a dividend is a portion of the company's profits. So if the company is consistently profitable, they will increase their dividends to their shareholders. If the company is not profitable, they will decrease their dividends to the shareholders. So let's take a look at 20 years of dividend payments for SPY, and then we will talk a little bit more. So SPY, let's go all the way back to 2005. Here it is right here. Now, hypothetically speaking, John, if this is a good investment, these numbers should get higher and higher and higher as the years go on. 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, so on and so forth. Let's check out the numbers. You ready, John? Here we go. 2005, March 18, 2009, 46, 48, 52, 67, 51. Wait. Did that just go backwards? 46, 48, 52, 67, 51. Yeah, it did. It went backwards. Well, why weren't they profitable here? Well, okay, that's once. Hold on, because it actually gets worse. Here we go. You ready? That's one. 55, 79, 55, 70, 57, 79, 51. That's twice. Twice in a span of a couple of years. Okay, we're right here, March 7. Okay, whoops, March 7 right there. 55, 65, 71, 77, 64. That's 3 times it went backwards, dude. 3 times. Okay, not consistently profitable. But wait, it actually gets worse. 64, 66, 69, 71, 56. That's 4 times it went backwards. 51, 5 times it went backwards. 50, 6 times it went backwards. 59, 48, 7 times it went backwards. 53, 60, 65, 55, 8 times it went backwards. And we're only in 2010. 62, 62.5, that's 9 times. 77, 61, 10 times. 68, 77, 102, 69, 11 times. 83.9, 83.8, 12 times. 98, 82, 13 times, and we still got quite a ways to go. We got 12 more years to look at, and we got 13 times this thing went backwards. Think about it, John. Consistency of profitability means every single quarter or every single year, the numbers should get higher and higher and higher. SPY, they get what, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back? No, that's not a good investment, in my humble opinion. But wait, it gets worse. It really does get worse, John. Hold on a second. Okay, so we're seeing that it's not consistently profitable. We don't need to see the rest of them because it's going to do the exact same thing. Up, down, up, down, up, down. That's what it looks like. Okay? The dividend is a portion of the profits the company gives back to the investors. And if they're not consistently profitable, the numbers will go down. But hold on, it gets worse. Let's look at the summary. Let's change it up a little bit. Go right towards the summary. You ready? Summary. All right, here we go. All right. Again, SPY 500 ETF Spider SPY 527. That's the current price. Let's go down just a little bit. Now, John, do you see this right here? The yield. The yield is your rate of return. Okay? Do you see it? Seriously. 1.28. John, 1.28. Not for the week, not for the month, not for the quarter, for the year. You're investing your money into SPY and you're getting 1.28% return on your money. Well, look at the year-to-date daily total return. Negative 12%. How can you possibly tell me that's a good investment? Well, maybe for you, but not for what I want to do. So SPY, I've looked at the numbers like every single week. Don't take it wrong, John. Every single week somebody asks me about it and say, "Ooh, it's a great investment." No, it ain't. Take a look at the numbers. Take a look at the rate of return. You can put your money into federal T-bills and get 5%. A high yield savings account will give you 4%. You're actually losing money investing in SPY because I can almost guarantee that inflation is higher than 1.28. So you're putting all your money, $536 per share, and you're only gaining 1.28%. So, sorry, John, I don't like SPY. So, I'm a numbers guy. If the numbers work, great. SPY, the numbers don't work. Let's keep it. Laurie B, how are you today? You still don't make any sense. Oh. All right, hold on a second. Oh, I love this one. You don't know what you're talking about. Wow. Awesome. John, you want to come on live and explain to me while I'm wrong? Because I'm more than happy to debate with you. Now, I've been investing for a very long time. Okay, I think my first investment was in the 1990s. Okay, when I was investing when it was $250 commissions. That means each commission to buy a stock was $250. Okay, I've seen it go from $250 commission down to $125, down to $75, down to $65, down to $55, down to $45, down to $35, down to $20, down to $5, down to $3. Now all the trades are free. Okay, so I've been doing it for a while, and I love it when somebody says, I don't know what I'm talking about, yet has no information to back up their claim. Now, I don't know about you, John. Can we go backwards? Or do I have to? Yeah, okay. Now, I don't know about you, John, but December 16, 2011, this is what the dividend was. Okay, you cannot argue with that on your best day. Now, if September 2011 was 62, the very next one was 77, well, that's higher. I admit that. I do. I get no problem admitting 62 and 77. That's higher. But look at the very next one, 61. So it went from 77 to 61. How can you possibly explain to me in a manner that you think that going backwards is a good thing? Volatility is a new game. No, it's not. Okay, the stock market has been around for 400 years. Okay, dividend capturing is one of the oldest trading strategies there is. It's over 400 years old. 400 years old. Okay, so now I know you can go all the way back even before Christ was born. Okay, 62, 77, that's higher. 61, that's lower. 68, that's higher. 77, that's higher. 102, that's higher. 69, that's lower. Up, down, up, down, up, down. No, that doesn't work for me, dude. I want to look at something that looks similar to this. Let's pull up one that I like. Okay, this is what I like, John. This is what I'm talking about. Let's go all the way down to the back. Okay, right there. 2005, see? 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 16, 20, 23, 28, 31, 36, 39, 42, 46, 51, 56, 62, 68, 75, 83. Does that look a little different than the SPY? Yeah, because each and every year it got higher and higher and higher. SPY doesn't. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And the rate of return, 1.28%. What are you kidding me? Really? You're okay with investing you know what? I'm not even going to bother anymore. Let's move on. Let's move on. Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So let's take a look at, now we already looked at Kohl's, we already looked at Hertz. Lisa, good evening. It gets worse. Yes, Antoine, it does. Slaughtered. Peter, how you doing today? Thank you for that. Lisa M. Hello, just barely got on. I understand you're going to be ending soon, but just wanted to swing by and see what you're up to say hello. And the guy named John is a day trader. Yeah, he probably is. There's nothing wrong with being a day trader. Nothing wrong with it at all. I'm 61. I have no desire whatsoever to sit in front of my computer all day. None. Could I make more money sitting in front of my computer? Yes, I can. But I don't care what any one of you say. At some point in your life, money ceases to lose its allure. Okay, when you get to a certain point and you're counting down, it's like, all right, wait a second. I got another 15 Christmases to go. Well, I want to make them count. When you're in your 20s and 30s, great. You're invincible. Yeah, in your 60s, things are totally different. Especially when you're retired, things are totally different. Okay? I want simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for me to lose. That's the 5 criteria I had to come up with for my 9-year-old. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way to lose. Simple. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, and I'm terribly sorry, John, you don't agree with me. You know what they say, there's an ass for every saddle. There is. Okay, that being said, what else do we have here? Decal, is AT&T a good dividend stock? Yeah, Decal, AT&T is a great dividend stock. Let's take a look at it. Well, interesting. Not this week, though. Let's take a look at all the numbers and let's see what you think. All right? The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, 26.96. So the closest strike price on 26.96 is going to be 27. All right, so what's the 27 paying? Well, the 27 is paying 60 cents. Well, that's more than 2%. And that's for this week. Well, the 27 for next week is paying 74. Not quite 3%, but pretty close. Okay, does it make sense? Well, the numbers make sense. But look at the chart. Is the chart telling me it's the right time to buy? Well, let's find out. A year ago was the bottom of the year for AT&T, and that was 16.10. The last 90 days, okay, high, low is, look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's coming down at the moment. Today is a turnaround point. Could be. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Take a look at the last 30 days. because the last 30 days gives me a good idea of where do I think it's going to be come Friday. Well, because the options expire Friday. So this week I get 3 days left. Does it make sense for this week? Well, let's take a look. Up, down, up, down. So it's coming down now. So I do like 2 days to the upside before I would jump in. So although I like AT&T, we're about a week or two late because this is where you should have jumped in over here. Okay, profit taking. Now she's retracing. Okay, profit taking again because look at the bottom from here to here. That's enough to make people want to take a profit. Now she's coming back down. Now she's turning around. I'd wait a little bit longer to make a good entry. All right, so what else do we have over here? No, hey, James, what is the biggest lesson you have learned in trading? Don't put all my eggs in one basket. Diversity is the biggest one I've ever learned. Okay, John, stick to your 8%. Yep. John, you still don't make any sense. Terribly sorry I don't make any sense. You don't. James, apologies for repeating my question. I missed your answer in the previous live. Okay, James, not a problem. You in the wrong game. Yep, probably. You don't have the cojones for risk. Terribly sorry, John, but I'm going to agree with you. Okay, that logic is so flawed, it's a joke. Hey, Matt, Daddy, what's happening? So, John, I'm going to agree with you. I have no cojones for risk. I don't, because I'm retired. If I risk and I'm wrong, guess who's going to be a new greeter at Walmart? Hey, how are you? Welcome to Walmart. Yeah, no, thank you. Nope, no desire to go back to work at all. Okay, Kyle. But you're buying the option on the STK for how it's trading now. Why care so much about dividend? Oh, Kyle, spoken like a true youngster. Now, I don't want that to sound like an insult, Kyle, but look what you're looking at. You're looking at Stryker. Great. It could be the greatest company in the world. It could be. It doesn't fit this equation. Okay? And two, I don't buy options because 80% of all options expire worthless. So I have no desire whatsoever to own any. I want to sell them because selling them and they expire worthless, well, great. I'm making money. Okay, so when you get to a certain point, you have to decide what is more important to you. Me, my time is my most valuable commodity. Do I want to sit in front of my computer all day? Hell no. 10 or 15 minutes is all I need. What did I buy it for? What did I sell it for? Am I making a profit? If not, see you later. It's that simple. All right. Okay. EH, gifter. John, you investing, I'm making money for people. No, so am I, John. Thank you very much. Day trading is the new game. Okay, John, like I said earlier, okay, I'm 61. I have no desire whatsoever to day trade. None whatsoever. Seriously, I don't. Now, I'm assuming, John, you're not retired because SPY day trading, yeah, may be the new game, but it's not game for me. Okay, I like simple, safe, predictable, consistent. Day trading is not simple, it's not safe, and it's not predictable. Peter, I can't day trade with a 3 trade week limit. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, Peter, in order to day trade, you need at least 25,000. Some people can do it, some people can't. I have no desire. And John, I don't know how to express to you that you will understand. I have no interest in day trading whatsoever. And Matt Daddy, okay, dividends are for boomers. Well, at one point, Matt Daddy, you will be retired. Do not kid yourself thinking that you won't. Because at some point in time, you have 3 opportunities. One is called aging out. When you get so old, your boss says, dude, don't come back to work anymore. Okay? 2, walk out, which means you have enough money to be able to walk out and say, you can take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. You can walk out if you have enough money coming in from your investments, from your assets generating cash flow. 3, you can toe tag your way out. Now, a lot of you know what that means. Okay, I know a lot of people that died at work, on their way to work, or on their way home from work. Yeah, I have no desire for that whatsoever either. I retired early because I had enough money at 1% a week to retire comfortably for me. Peter, can't day trade, got it. Lisa M, we all get old and you can't run from it. Absolutely, Lisa, I'm going to agree with you. John, how long have you been at this, sir? JP, how are you today? All right, now JP, I've been doing this since the 90s. I've been trading since the 90s. Okay, now I'll be 100% honest. I made a lot of money in the 90s and the 2000s, and I lost a lot of money. Okay. It wasn't until 2008 when my 9-year-old daughter asked me, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? That's where I came up with this strategy. Now, this strategy is about 90% of what I do. It's simple, it's safe, it's predictable, it's consistent. Okay, I have 1 loss this year. That's it. Rate of return is not just dividends. Learn some basic finance. Wow. All right, Mad Daddy, I'll give you the same opportunity. You want to come on live and have a debate? I'm all for it. But you got to come out with me something a little bit more than what you're spewing here. Okay? You're looking at what I'm doing through your lens, and it doesn't make sense to you. Perfectly fine. Okay. It works for me. Number 1, I'm buying a company that I have no problem holding on to because they consistently increase their dividends. Okay? Number 2, I use that company to trade what is called a covered call, which is one of the safest trading strategies there is. Okay? Simple, safe, predictable. I know exactly how much I'm going to make before I even do the trade, which as a day trader, you do not know. Number 4, consistency. Well, I can do it every single week. Now, 1% every single week comes to over 50% per year. Now, for the amount of money that I have, that is more than enough for me to live comfortably. And I'm okay with that. I'm retired. I have no desire to sit in front of my computer all day. And I think that's one of the things you guys just aren't quite understanding. The market is not predictable. Unfortunately, Matt, it is predictable. Bobase, too long. I have no idea what that means. John, following this day trading strategy, buy a put on Spider tomorrow. Sorry, ain't happening. I don't buy puts. I don't buy options at all. If I buy a put, it'll go up. Krista, how are you today? Laurie B, how are you today? Okay, JP, show the chart better. I'll tell you exactly what it's going to do. Okay, see, JP, I'm not 100% sure how to show you the chart better. That's 30 days. 30 days ago, here's where it was. Here's the high, here's the low. It went up, it came down, it went up, it came down. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by show the chart better. Okay? Now, JP, you're also neglecting the fact or just glossing over it that the trading strategy I am sharing was created for a 9-year-old. 9. When my daughter was 9, as a matter of fact, you're new here, you and John. So let's actually show you the little princess. Okay, or loading. Okay, YouTube channel. Let's go over to YouTube. JP, clearly. I'm not 100% what you mean by clearly there, John. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Hi, I'm Jason, and as you being part of my internet website called Thingy, which my dad doesn't let me call me that, but I do. Being part of that, you're going to be getting weekly lists of stocks and all your...
All right. That's me 15 years ago.
What does that mean? That means every single day you buy a different stock. Every single day there's a different company paying out dividends. Yay! Anyway, seriously.
Now that video is 15 years old. I've been doing the exact same thing for the last 15 years. And the reason why you haven't seen it before is because, well, live opportunity didn't show up until 2 years ago. Okay, so when you say clearly, JP, let's go back here. Okay, let's go to live. Okay. Oh, that's not, no, that's not it. Wait a minute, wait. I'm only streaming on one. Hold on a second. Restream. Why isn't Restream working? Come on. Oh, it's not working. Damn it. All right, so we're not streaming on live on YouTube. Damn. All right, is what it is. Anyway, so John, I'm not sure what you mean by clearly, because it looks pretty clear to me. All right, so let's keep on moving. Zach, good evening. How are you doing today? Early days, great trading times back then. Not quite sure what you mean by back then, but okay. All righty, what else we got? Decal, AT&T, we already looked at that one. Would think APK could fall? Got the rest of it. Yep, got that one. ENB, Enbridge, big brain. You always want to take a look at Enbridge. ENB. Okay, now, this is like the third or fourth time, big brain, you asked to take a look at ENB. It's still a monthly. 16 May, 20 June, 18 July. You ask every single week, and every single week I tell you the same thing. ENB is a no. I don't do monthly options because they just don't pay enough. Kyle wants to take a look at ExxonMobil. Now, ExxonMobil does fit, but is it yes for this week? Ooh, look at that. High, low is, look at the motion. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. 108, the 108s are going for 157, the 109s are going for 99 to 130. Okay, that might work. Next week's the 109s are going for 229. Okay, so the numbers look good, but what is the chart telling me? Well, let's find out. A year ago, ExxonMobil's at 120.28. The high of the year was back in October, the first week of October. Well, the last 90 days, okay, here's the last 90 days. High, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Sideways, up, down, now back up again. Now, just because it's going back up again and the 90-day high is way here at 120, well, does it seem like the right time to buy? Well, let's figure this out. The bottom is here at 98. Okay, so it goes from 98 to 108. That's $10. That's a $10 move. A $10 move on a $98 stock is a 10% increase. Now, 10% is a nice number. So ask yourself, if you had a stock that jumped 10% in a week, would you take profits? And if your answer is yes, it's probably not a good idea to jump in. Because if people start taking profits tomorrow, the stock's going to turn around and go back down again. But it is lower than the channel that it was in a couple of weeks ago. But, it all depends. Do you like ExxonMobil? Is it something you want to buy? Is it something you want to buy and something you hold on to? Well, because look at the 109s. The 108s. Okay, it's giving you 1%, or almost 2%. If I could get 2% every single week on ExxonMobil, I'll say hell yeah. Because 2% every single week is over 100% per year. Okay, now JP, I don't know if you get 100% per year, but I like the idea. But I'm okay with 1% a week, because 1% a week takes care of all my bills, and I'm not greedy. I'd rather do a safe trade than a profitable trade, okay, because you have a choice. Okay, the 108 is a safer trade. The 109 is more profitable. So which one do you want? Safety, profitability. It's probably going to depend on where you are in this point in your life. Are you young, looking to retire, looking to add to your portfolio to get you closer to retirement? Or are you just playing the game? Now, I'm retired, so I don't want to have to go back to work. Okay, I remember one time last year, I came down to do some work on my boat because we were going to go down to the Caribbean for the winter. I was fueling up my van, talking to this gentleman, because he's sitting there in a Cadillac, look like brand new Cadillac. And this guy looked really spiffy. Okay, and he's wearing a suit with a name tag on it. You know, the kind where, you know, an upper class type resort. And I was chatting with him. Guy's 84 years old. So I said to him, hey, I said, you got a job, getting out of the house, you know, just get some extra spending money. He says, no, I need to work in order to make ends meet. Guy's 84 years old and he has to go back to work to make ends meet. I do not want to be in that situation. Now, I know I'm only 61. I got, what, 23 years to be at the 84. So I got to make sure the money that I have consistently grows and consistently takes care of my bills. Now, I could go back to work if I wanted to, but I'm kind of enjoying retired life. I'm kind of enjoying sleeping until I'm done, getting up and watching movies all day long, hanging out with my 5-year-old grandson, going down to spend time with my mom, hanging out with my kids. These are things I'd rather do than punch a time clock. Well, I'm not as focused on money as some of you guys. I make enough to pay my bills. Fine. Okay, I've got a strategy that's been working for me for over 15 consecutive years. 15 consecutive years, I make over 1% a week. It works for me. Okay, you guys over here, JP and John, they seem to be thinking, you know, 50% a year is not enough for them. That's enough for me. All righty, let's keep on going. Paul Brahms, Advanced Auto Parts at 33 is in the money. Yep, it is. Let's take a look at it. Well, kind of yes, kind of no. Okay, so Paul, what we're looking at here are two different sets of numbers. Up here are the numbers for the stocks. Down here is the numbers for the options. Now, the numbers for the options aren't going to change because the market is closed. But the numbers up here, those are changing because it is after hours trading. Now, yeah, the stock is 34.06 at this moment in time. But what's it going to be tomorrow morning? Don't know. Now, the mathematical equation doesn't change. What do I buy it for? What's the closest strike price? Is it 1%? Is it the right time to buy? They all work together. It was a strategy created for a 9-year-old. I don't know why adults want to make things more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, last week I had my 5-year-old grandson here. He was having fun interacting with you guys. Well, a lot of you guys. It's simple. Here's the high, here's the low. Well, what happens at a 30-day high? Normally, you have profit taking. Well, profit taking, the stock drops. When it gets low enough, people like me and some of you out here saying, oh my goodness, Advanced Auto Parts at 29? Yeah, I'm buying some. And then the stock price goes up. That's all it does. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. That's it. The rules are very simple. Number one, never buy something you don't understand. If you don't want to buy it and hold it for the rest of your life, don't buy it. It's actually that simple. Rule number two, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. And it is a game, okay? Just like Monopoly. Buying and selling homes is just like buying and selling with Monopoly. Rule number 3, make sure the company's consistently profitable, which means absolute worst case scenario, I'm getting higher and higher dividends every single year. Worst case scenario. Okay? 4, make sure weekly options only. 5, make sure the numbers work. We already discussed the numbers a little while ago. Kyle, 4F, you're not trading your account balance each week. Well, unfortunately, Kyle, I am. What if that does 50% really represent? All right, Kyle, let me see. I just love negative people. You know what they say? If you don't have enough negative people, you're doing something wrong. Where were we? Was that it? Right here. That's 2025. Trades for 2025. Kyle, you ready? All right, here we go. All right up here, Kyle, is the account information. The beginning of the year, 151,000, account number 1. Account number 2, 143,000. Account number 3, 114,000. Right there. Every single one of my trades is listed online. Just pick one. Here we go, right here. All right, you ready? Intel, 2,000 shares at $20.23. Sell 20 contracts. Intel, 14 March 25, the $20 call option at 77 cents a share. I don't know about you, Kyle, but 77 cents a share for a $20 stock is over 3%. Okay? Now, you can count each and every one of those. Riley, 15s on the 5. Holy shit. The $5 call option, the $15 credit, that's 3%. Intel US Steel, 1,000 shares at 35. I sold the 35 for 114. 35, 114, that's almost another 3%. Here's a roll forward. Okay, I rolled it forward, which means I bought the 14s, I sold the 21s, rolled it forward, bought this, sold that, got an 85-cent credit on a $35 stock. That's over 2%. Intel, another roll forward, the $20 call option. I bought it for this, sold it for that, walked away with 32. That's 1.5%. Now, unlike you, Kyle, 90%, well, actually, not nowadays. Nowadays, only 80% of all my money. So if I have 100,000, 80,000 is being invested, 20,000 is being held back just in case stocks drop. But most of the time, all last year, 95% of my money was invested every single week. 95% of all my money is invested at all times last year. Not this year, because at this moment in time, we have that panic selling, people bitching and moaning. And no. So what do we have here? Week 1, right here. Okay, I $4,700 off of a $200,000 stock, $200,000, 2.34%. Okay, 4,900, 2.8%, 3,500, 2.2%. Every single trade is up here. You can do your own math. You can do your own equation. Here's the total. Here's the starting point. Here's the profit. Here's the return. It's not that difficult. You like that, Kyle? Not negative, trying to figure out how many trade ones need. Oh, well, this is a lot of freaking trades. You know, this is my hobby. I have nothing else better to do with my time. So, yeah, I do trade these accounts. I trade 7 accounts. I only share 3 of them publicly. I got to draw the line somewhere. I'm not showing all my cards. I give a simple, safe trading strategy away for free. I'm not charging anyone for this, and I can guarantee you 100%, I am not going to pitch anything. Okay, usually people say, hey, you can make this, this, and this. If you order now, you get 2 for the price of 1. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I don't believe that. I'm just sharing my knowledge, and hopefully, when I am gone, my children and my grandchildren will be able to watch these videos and see how Papa G, that's me, how Papa G actually made his money. Okay? Because I'm going to have a stipulation in my will that my children get butt kissed, nothing until they can prove to my attorneys that they can handle money that I'm leaving to them. Okay? So Kyle, yes, everything I do is actually online to view. Not everything, because I have 7 accounts and I only share 3 of them. Let's keep on keeping on. Who do we have next? I notice you don't pay attention to the candles. You look at the ups and downs, and that has really helped me become, when I tried to do day trading, it didn't work. Okay. Free speech. Ignore him. He is playing you. Okay, free speech. Thank you for that. I love negative people. I got 3 negative people tonight. That means I'm doing better than I did last night. Last night, I only had 2 negative people. They say if you don't have enough negatives or enough trolls, you're not working hard enough. Well, I got 3 tonight. Awesome. Didn't realize you cycle 80% account each week. Thanks. Well, Kyle, look at it this way. What good is my money doing sitting in an account doing absolutely nothing? Now, Kyle, I am going to admit, when the panic selling first started, I got 4 margin calls. Okay, 3 in one account and 1 in another account. Okay, so yeah. So how I handled those margin calls is I rolled my positions out 6 weeks rather than 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so I don't let my money sit around and do nothing, because what is it gaining? 4% a year? Which, think about this. If I don't invest my money, this was probably good for John, but I think John left. Okay, John was investing in spiders, SPY. Well, the yield for SPY is 1.3. Well, if I just leave my money in my trading account and don't do anything with it, I'm getting 4%. So I'm beating John by doing absolutely nothing while he's investing in SPY. Depending on what he's doing, of course. He said he's day trading, so if he just bought it and just held on to it, I'd be beating, but I'm assuming he's day trading. Okay, free speech. No, James, the guy asking about ENB every day. Yeah, probably. But I got to admit, he is consistent. He comes back and asks me about ENB every single week. I mean, almost every day. It's like, it hasn't changed since yesterday, and it hasn't changed since the day before. So don't get me wrong, people like ENB, Enbridge, they're probably a good company, probably have some great people working there. But it doesn't fit what I'm doing. Now, you can scroll through TikTok, YouTube, whatever channel you're on, and you could probably have other guys just like me telling you how they trade. And they're probably right with what they are doing. I just have a different approach. And this approach works for me. I'm not going to change my approach for anybody. It's the exact same. As a matter of fact, here's something funny. Let's go here. 2024. Okay, these are all my trades for last year. But I don't want to show you that. I want to show you down here at the bottom. Okay, right here. Okay, now, I first started sharing my trading experience in 2011. That was my first blog post in 2011. And I shared all my trades. Okay, July 6, 2013, there was a huge drop in the last few weeks. Took a break from trading and waited till the dust to settle. We didn't take any losses, as this year we're looking for no losses. We're into July with 0 losses in 2013. Okay, we have dropped down to only 20% return so far. Halfway point. Well, that's not bad. 20% in July. All right. Our weekly averages dropped below 1% per week. Our monthly average is 3.3, even a bigger drawdown, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's 2011. Now, look at the video from right here. This video. Okay, this video is from 2013. Look, 30-day chart, 90-day chart, 1-year chart. We're looking at the exact same thing. Moving sideways all year, last 90 days, looking at the channel close to year's high, still 30 days, still in that channel, looking for the dividend play to push it upwards. Okay, that was 12 years ago. So I'm basically saying the exact same thing that I said 12 years ago. Nothing has changed for me. You guys are just all new here. 310 for life. Are you buying on leverage? Hell yeah. If you are buying the stocks and selling covered calls, how would you get a margin call? Because I'm doing it on margin. Think about it. Okay. Now, all cash, I'm doing more than 1% a week. Margin, now I'm getting more than 2 to 4% every single week. Well, that works for me. It works even better. But there is susceptibility to margin calls when you're doing margin. Now, I always tell everybody, if you're new, if you're just starting out, stay away from margin. If you don't understand the risks involved with margin trading, stay away from it. You can literally lose your ass with a margin because stocks can and do drop 50, 60, 70% from their high. And we showed a bunch of them today. Matter of fact, Kohl's 28 high, now it's down at 6. Well, that's more than a 70% drop. I'm not panicking. I have no desire to sell whatsoever because Kohl's consistently gives me a nice cash flow every single week. Okay, so I have no desire to sell it. Peter, I do like SoFi. Ugh, I don't like SoFi. Now, Lisa, we've talked about SoFi before, but you know what? Perfectly fine. You like it? Cool. Okay, Peter, understandable. I follow Catfish on YouTube and he helps me out. I just wait for his low calls and high sells, and I totally understand them. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, Steve Pierce, good night. Have a nice night. Talk to you later. Hollywood's in the house. How's it going there, Hollywood? Okay, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Holy cow, I got a lot of questions here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow. Wow, I have a lot of questions I've missed. All right, so I'm going all the way back. So the dividend requirements, so you could sell the stock, filter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I even missed these ones. Holy cow. All right, here we are. I'm caught up. All right, Paul. Yep, we already did that one. Emily, good evening, Emily. Chef Jerky, how are you doing? LA Soundwave, Hollywood, Carmen, just purchased an auto renewal subscription. Cool, Carmen. Thank you for that. I don't know why. I have no idea how to even collect that money. Mikey T's in the house. Mikey T, what's happening? All right. Allison Diane, good evening. What's the most you've ever lost? 91,000 in 1 week. I've lost 91,000 in 1 week, Allison. Okay. Some lessons are more uncomfortable than others. That one was a doozy. Quantum Antenna, how are you doing? John, how are you going? Ched Ainge. Okay, Ched Ainge. Aunt Kiki, good evening, good evening. Threading the Needle, Macy's. Ooh, I actually have some Macy's, so let's take a look at it. Hold that thought. Sorry, let's get out of here. Right there. Macy's. Now, I do have some Macy's, so let's take a look at the numbers. Now, I remember Macy's when it was like 24, 25, 26 last year. Tree Hugger wants to look at McCormick. All right, Macy's, here we go. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. We're going to say no only because I'm not even going to go the rest of the way with Macy's because look at this right here. Zoom in. Okay, here's the bottom here. She shot up, now she's coming down. So I do have Macy's, so I do look at it every single day. As soon as this thing starts turning around and going back up, then it will be a good time to jump in. Till then, no. Lisa, Campbell Soup. Last night we never looked at Campbell Soup. Actually, we did, Lisa. So let's do it really quick. CPB. Okay, Campbell Soup. Here we go. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. You ready, Lisa? Watch this. It's currently at 37.88. So the 38s are going for 35. Wait. That's 38. That one says 39.50. So we were looking last night, and Campbell Soup wasn't giving 1%. That's why we said no to Campbell Soup yesterday. Whoops. Okay, now look at that. It's a great opportunity. Okay, the high and the low where it was. Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down. Now she's going up. Here's your 2 days to the upside right here. 1, 2. Yesterday and today. That's 2 days to the upside. Zoom in a little bit closer. Right there. You can't miss it. Okay. Here's bottom. 1, 2. Now she's going up. Here's the high over here at 40. Okay. We got plenty of space here. If you like Campbell's soup. That's the big one. Never mind. I just remembered we did it. You forgot for the moment. Not a problem. Mr. T joined. Cool beans. Okay, so threading the needle, Macy's, we already said no to that one because it didn't look quite right. So the dividend requirement you use are just for the stock filter purposes. And then you look for the 1%. Absolutely, Kyle. Okay, I want to make sure, absolute worst case scenario, that I'm getting a higher dividend every single year. That's worst case scenario. It's not what I'm looking for, but that's worst case scenario. Okay, I'm looking for that weekly cash flow. So Tree Hugger wants to look at McCormick. Isn't that MCK or is that McKesson? I don't know. Let's find out. MCK. MCK. That's McKesson. Damn it. What's McCormick? All right, Tree Hugger, you have to let me know what McCormick is because I don't really trade McCormick. And more. Good evening. Kohl's is no good. Sorry, Tree Hugger. I love Kohl's. Rene Grande could go down another %. Anything can go down another %. Investing 404. Good evening. Rod. Good evening. Eliza's Angels. Good evening. Amador playing pickleball. Cool beans. I always wanted to play pickleball. MKC. Oh, MKC is okay. MKC. Whoops. There it is, McCormick. Nope. That was quick, wasn't it? Nope. 16 May, 20 June, 19 September, 19 December. That's a monthly optionable stock. Sorry. McCormick is a no. Monthly options just don't work. Not for me anyway. Now, if you guys like them, great. Awesome. Best of luck to you. I don't like them because they can only trade once a month. And once a month, even if I'm right, okay, the numbers just don't look good. 310 Life. VFC. I like VFC. That's on my list. Okay. High, low is, look at the movement. Up, down, up, down, up. Okay, cool. 11, the 11 is going for 19. That's nice. Next week's 11 is going for 36. That's 3%. Well, let's look at VF Corporation. A year ago, VFC is at 1286. Shoots up to 29. Now, the high of the year is 29. Well, look at where it's at now. It's at 11. That's more than a 50% drop. So if you are not ready to have a 50% drop of what you're buying, stay away from margin and stay away from this game. This game, you can buy something and it can drop 50 to 60%. Goose. Okay, 310 Life. We'll take a look at Goose. I have no idea what that is, but we'll take a look at it. Hold on a second. All right, last 90 days. Okay, high, low is, look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Now she's going up. We got 2 days to the upside right there. So tomorrow could be a perfect opportunity to jump in to VFC. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, the last 30 days, right there. Okay, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, 2 days to the upside. Yesterday and today is higher than the bottom, which was Thursday. Last Thursday was the bottom. Monday was higher. Tuesday was higher. If tomorrow is higher, for me, that would be a cue for me to jump in. Unfortunately, it's Wednesday, and I don't buy anything on a Wednesday because all my money's already invested. Well, I should say most of my money's invested. Nowadays, because of this panicking crap that people did a couple of weeks ago, Yeah, I got to leave some cash. I normally never have cash sitting around. But nowadays, I got to have some cash sitting around because the panic selling, some weird stuff going on. Okay, SWK is Stanley Black & Decker. I'm pretty sure that's a monthly. That's a no. Sorry, 310 Life. SWK Stanley Black & Decker. Okay, so let's take a look at VFC, the 11s for next week and see what it looks like. Okay, hold tight. Don't you want to see what VFC looks like? You suggested it, so let's take a look. Now let's get out of there. Let's change this to covered call because it's a simple, safe strategy. I don't want to do this week's. I want to do next week's. The 11s right here. Okay, one contract at the market. Here we go. And hit confirm and send. There it is. By, whoa. That don't look good at all. $11 off of $1,000. That's about 1%. So that sucks. Let's change it up a little bit. 1190. Okay. 1191. No, 1091. 1138. So we can look at the 1150s. All right, let's change it to the 1150s. Let's get out of there. Change that. And we're going to change this to 1150. That's a little better. All right. By one covered call of VFC, 100, that's the weekly, to May 25. Now, to May 25 is next Friday. Because I don't want to do this week because this week is not enough money to be made because there's only 3 days left. It means we're only getting 3 days of time value. Not enough. So we're going to go out to next Friday. The $11.50 call option against the stock to open at the market. Profit is $46.50, so let's get out my calculator. Unless some of you guys can do it in your head. $46.50 divided by 1104, 1104. That is, I'm going to write this one down, 4.2% for a week and a half. A week and a half, 4.2%. And I'm writing that one down, VFC. $4.2. Well, that's a nice one. I like that one. Alrighty. So what do we got left? SWK. All right. Okay, 310 Life. GOOS. What the heck is GOOS? Anybody know? Let's get back to where we were. And GOOS. Canadian Goose Holdings. Canada Goose Holdings. Okay. High, low, was, is. Look at this. Up, down, sideways, down, then up. This right here might be a little too much of a movement. Let's zoom in there and see what it looks like. Okay, here's the bottom. 667. The top, 860. So from 660 to 860 is $2. Now, I know $2 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but $2 on a $6.67 stock, that is 30%. This is a 30% increase. Hell no. What do you think? If you bought a stock in that's 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Okay, 2.5 weeks, it went up 30%. Yeah, that baby getting ready to come down. No, thank you. Not for me anyway. Playing pickleball. Amador, I want to play pickleball. Haven't played it yet. I've seen it. All right, so Goose, what was that? 310 Life. Goose, that looks pretty damn good. However, is it something you want to jump into considering where it is? Okay, because once profit taking starts, that thing's going to drop. PayPal, no dividends, no thank you. Your New Feminine. How are you doing, Your New Feminine? Nice to meet you. Oops. All right, that being said, VFC dividend price has gone down in the last few years. It has not been profitable. Ooh, let's check that one out, Lisa. Thank you for that, Lisa. I wasn't really looking at that. VFC. Now, Lisa's got a good point. Let's take a look at the dividends for VFC. Oh, yeah, they have. All right, 2005. 2005, 6, 6.3, 6.8, 12, 13, 14, 16, 20, 24, 30, 34, 39, 43, 48, 51, 43. Damn. 48, 49, 50, 30. What the hell? Oh, 2022 during the pandemic. Yeah. Nice. Yep. Nope. Sorry. VFC is going to be a no for me because it went from 30 cents down to 9 cents. That's a 60% drop. Hell no. I'm strictly by the I'm a numbers guy. Does it make sense? Do the numbers work out? Yeah. No. Sorry. That's unfortunate. New Feminine. All right. Some comments in the live have been filtered. Oh, okay. Evening. Good evening. Kyle, what screener do you use to find your pool of tradables? Kyle, you ready for this? It's a complicated one, Kyle. You ready? Dividend Kings list. Dividend Champions list. Dividend Aristocrats list. Dividend Contenders list. And then for the fun of it, we're going to throw in Warren Buffett's list. Between those 5 lists, there's over 300 good quality stocks that I look at. Now, I don't look at them every single day. I put them into a calendar. An EX dividend calendar tells me exactly when the stocks are paying their dividend. Why? Well, because just before the dividend is paid, the stock has a tendency to increase in value. So knowing when a stock is going to go up, great. What do you do with that information? If you knew a stock was going to increase, let's say Procter & Gamble, Lowe's, Fuller, Hormel, AbbVie, Abbott Labs, Colgate-Palmolive. Let's say you knew that stock was going to increase. What would you do with that information? That's the reason this came about. Well, when do the stocks usually move? Well, yeah, he's saying buy. Why? If you buy the stock, you're limited on how much money you can make. And then when do you get out? Okay, there's no predictability there, and there's no consistency there. Okay, so yeah, most people say that. If you knew the stock was going to go up, you'd buy it. Okay, nope, not me. I do an option trade because an option trade is predictable, it's consistent, and it's repeatable. I jump in, do a covered call, get a nice 1 or 2%, jump out, and then move on to the next one. Because what you're not seeing here is this. All these green dots, these are all the companies that are paying out a dividend in this month, okay? April 2025. Okay, today is the 22nd. Oh, look at that, CVS. I can't read them all. Lowe's is tomorrow. Stellantis is tomorrow. Lennar is tomorrow. Donut, isn't that Krispy Kreme? D-Nut? Levi's. Oh, Fast, Cigna, UMB. So all these little dots represents companies that are going to pay a dividend. There's a lot. So if you knew all these stocks were going to move at a certain time, you'd buy it. That's what your New Feminine says. Not me, because you're limited what you can make. I look at percentage on return. So if I did a covered call, I can make a safer trade a lot quicker, and then I can be back out again. Okay, 310 Life. VFC has a new CEO. It is one of the only retail expanding its stores. Okay, not wrong with that at all. However, if they cut the dividends down, means they're no longer on my list. Because if they're not consistently profitable, if somebody's not doing something right, the numbers just don't work. That's going to be a no. Which stock is that? Cool. Camelot, how are you today? Cindy Dar, how are you today? Hollywood, we already looked at APA. Peter, is dividend hopping a thing? Actually, they call it dividend capturing, Peter. And yes, dividend capturing is a trading strategy that's over 400 years old. People would buy a company, grab the dividend, and then sell it, and then move on to the next one because it made sense and it was easy. Yugar wants to take a look at Home Depot. All right, let me finish this question over here. Dividend hopping, they call it dividend capturing. Knowing the EX dates and just getting in the right before, then the move and the next payout a day or two later. Yeah, absolutely, Peter. That's exactly what dividend capturing is. You jump in before the little green dot, grab the dividend, sell it, and then jump into another one. Well, there's a whole bunch to choose from. Look at them all. Okay, Ugar wants to take a look at Home Depot. Home Depot. Now, Ugar, Home Depot is a dividend king, which means they have increased their dividends to their shareholders for more than 5 decades. That means every single year they make more and more and more and more and more and more and more every single year. You cannot become a dividend king unless you're consistently profitable for 5 decades. That's 50 years. And there's a lot of you in here that aren't even 50 years old yet. So imagine that. Home Depot, Lowe's, Colgate, Palmolive, Procter & Gamble, Heinz Ketchup, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. All these companies have consistently increased their profits for more than 5 decades. Well, let's take a look at Home Depot. High, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 354. That's where it's at right now. I want to zoom into this and see if it's even a contender for today. Well, let's zoom in. Okay. 30 days ago, we're here at 350, 355, shoots up to 372, drops down to 325, back up, back down. She's kind of going sideways. No real direction for it, so I'm going to say not this week. They don't care. They don't care on Meta. Okay, Level Life. No, I don't do Meta or Facebook or Google. A lot of them, I just don't do them because they're not consistently profitable. Oh, 310 Life, Johnson & Johnson. Yep, that's another dividend king, J&J. Same thing, high, low, is. Look at the motion, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's going to be a no because look at the motion. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So it went from 142 to 157. That's a $15 increase from here to here. That's 15%. 15%. Yeah, there's going to be profit taken. That thing's going to come down. But at 157.75, the 157.50 is right there, 230. That actually works if you like Johnson & Johnson. And that's always, always, always going to be the big question. Question 1, does it make sense? If you don't understand covered calls, there's literally hundreds of videos explaining exactly what it is. You buy a stock, you sell somebody the rights to buy it from you for the certain price by a certain date. Kyle wants to take a look at HWE. Isn't that Hawaiian? No, wait a minute. HI is Hawaiian Electric. HWE. Can't find that symbol. So that's going to be a no. Sorry, Kyle. All right, let's keep on going. Hollywood! Are Dividend Kings company only in the U.S. or all around the world? Unfortunately, Hollywood, Dividend Kings are just U.S. because there are companies that are overseas. CPS. What is CPS? CPS. I don't know that one. Hold on. CPS. Cool. Yeah, that's probably see, that's why I don't know CPS. 16 May, 20 June, 18 July. Yep, I don't do that one. Yeah, I got it. But look, it's monthly. I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Sorry. Now, when I say they just don't work, I can't get 1% every single week. I'm looking for 50% a year. I can't do that with a monthly option. It has to be a weekly option. Make sense? Thank you. Well, at least you're a lot more cordial than those other guys. Hey, mate, how you doing there, buddy? Ben, Somerville, how you doing? Okay, Hollywood. Uh-oh, user 8106909152833 wants to take a look at NVIDIA. How about hell no? Okay, now when I say user 81, whatever. Amy, I'm terribly sorry you lost clicking the wrong button. I clicked the wrong button like 4 weeks ago and I lost like, I think it was 2,500 or 3,500. I hit the wrong button. 3,500. Down the tubes. Just like that. Shit. I just need to listen to him and learn it and follow and pay attention before clicking. Okay. Thank you, Amy. Yeah. Okay. Eric Hutchinson. Lowe's dividend date is tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't do it if it's tomorrow. I like this strategy. Thank you very much, Amy. All right. Where are we? VC. VIC. Wolf. VICI. I've never heard of that one. Okay, VICI. VC. Didn't we look at this once before? Yeah, we did. Okay, I don't do monthlies. Sorry, dude. Just doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, Wolf. Zercro Air. That's all stock, though. That's all stock, though. Why on earth would retired people not pay taxes? Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't do politics. Really don't. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I really honestly don't care who sits in the big chair. Really, I don't. But the old boy that's sitting in the chair now wants no taxes on tips, no taxes on people over 60 years old, people that are retired. I'm all for that. Okay, the amount of money I make is ridiculous, and if I don't have to pay taxes on it, great. Well, I don't pay taxes anyway because I have my accounts set up a certain way. But the boy that's in the big chair nowadays, he's trying to pass a bill with no taxes on retired people. I like that idea. Okay, Jeff, I like cash secured puts. It's like getting paid for a limit order. Yep, you're absolutely right, Jeff. It's great. Now, I do cash secured puts, but I don't teach it here. I teach one strategy and only one because I like to stay simple. I like things simple, safe, and predictable. Armando, great content. I have a bad connection. Sorry about that. Andrea, Mara is on its way up. I bought and sold it 3 times already. Ooh, cool beans. Now, I do have some Mara. Joshim, BD, what's happening? Bill, what stocks we are doing today? Hey, Todd Vegas. Okay, Bill, you got to give me the ticker symbol for that one. IQVIA. I've never even heard of that one. Pat, can you break down Hood for us? Now, Pat, Hood, Hood, is Robinhood. Now, I don't think Robinhood is 20 years old. So if it's not 20 years old, it's going to be a no. And Eric, you are right. Mara does not have dividends. So why am I investing in it? Well, I invest in what people tell me to invest in their accounts. So a client of mine wanted to buy some Mara, so we did. We bought some Mara. Doesn't have dividends. Austin, what's happening? How much is SPY worth? Don't know, don't care. Isn't that weird, Bill? I'm pretty sure it's around $560 per share. That's what I think it is. Hertz has no dividends either. Absolutely right, Eric. But you got to understand one thing, Eric. Okay, I have my account and I have accounts for other people. Okay, what they want me to invest in, I have to. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I try to talk them out of it, but most of the time I just buy it if everything looks right for them. For me, no. Josh, what concept do you use for your strategies? My concept I use, simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way to lose strategy, looking for a 1% per week. Okay, 310 wants to look at Disney. DIS. Interesting, here we go. The high, the low, where was the word? So look at the motion. Down, up, down, up. Okay, it's at 86 at the moment. What's the 86 going for? The 86 to, but it's currently at 88. That's going for, yeah, that's over 1%. So yeah, Disney looks good. But is it the right time to buy Disney? It kind of looks like it. Well, let's zoom in a little closer and take a look at the numbers. A year ago, Disney's at 112.94. Let's call it 113. She drops to 85, shoots up to the high of the year at 119. All right, well, from there, the last 90 days, which is the last 3 months, high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now it's going up. Okay, it makes sense. It's kind of like a seesaw. Remember the seesaws when you're little? Up, down, up, down, up, down. That's all they do. If you can plan your investing, okay? Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Really not that difficult, especially if you're doing it in 5-day increments. I do most of my buying on Mondays and Tuesdays. And I like to be out by Friday. Now, Friday, I have a morning trading group. We do most of our buying on Monday. Friday, we all sit and we look at our accounts at 2:30. So we jump on live and we trade live at 2:30 on Friday. I want an hour and a half so that everybody in the morning trading group can make sure nobody loses. Well, that's one of the benefits. If you think your stock is susceptible to a loss, great. We will take a look at it and we will try to move things around so you don't lose. Well, that's one of the reasons why people join our morning trading group. For $100 a month, what are you getting? 5 days a week. 5 days a week to ask questions from someone who's been doing it for decades. Ooh, Siri, hold on. We're still looking at Disney. So let's finish up with Disney first. Josh, can you be specific? How do you scale the lowest low or the highest high? Do you use PD array? I have no idea what PD array is. Now, Josh, you're new here. I'm really good with names. I know people when they've been showing up and they've been around for a while. You're new. When I said I'm looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way to lose strategy where I can get 1% every single week. I do nothing but pre-qualified dividend stocks, and those are companies that are consistently profitable and have weekly options. Excuse me. I do a trading strategy called the covered call. A covered call is one of the simplest, safest, and most predictable trading strategies there is. Okay? I created it for my 9-year-old daughter in 2008 when she said to me, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" Now, the boys didn't want anything to do with it. But my 9-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" Okay, fine. Most adults don't understand it. However, my 9-year-old daughter was averaging 5% a month. Well, 5% a month is over 60% a year. Most professionals don't even get that. So yeah, it's a simple strategy. Very simple. All right, what are we doing? So Disney, let's keep on going. Disney, last 30 days. Okay. Up, down, up, down. Now it's going up. 2 days to the upside. Here's your bottom here. Thursday was higher. Monday was higher. Tuesday was higher. That's 3 days to the upside for Disney. At the 86. Well, the 86 is giving me more than 2%. Well, that makes sense to me. And it's Disney. Now, I can almost guarantee every one of you here has heard of Disney. They've been around for over 100 years also. I think. No, 1920s. Yeah, could be. I don't know if they've been trading for 100 years, but they've been around for a while. Oh, sorry, James. I didn't know that it was STSL because I don't like Tesla. Okay. Direxion daily utility bill 3x shares. Yeah, no, sorry, Bill, I don't do that. And I don't do Tesla either. Okay, so, I'm with you on that one. Aaron wants to take a look at Siri. Now, I do have some Siri. SIRI. Look at that. The high is 42. The low is in the 20s. That's a 50% drop. And that's Siri. Okay, now I remember when Siri was like $2 before they joined with whoever they reverse split, whatever the hell they did. Okay, high, low, look at the motion. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. What's going on here? Don't know. Let's zoom in a little closer. Does it look like something we want to do? Well, here we go. It's kind of going sideways. Okay, here's the 30-day high. Here's your 30-day bottom. It came up. Now she's going sideways. No real direction. I'll just keep an eye on it and not do anything with it. Can you check Home Depot? Bill, we looked at Home Depot 15, 20 minutes ago. Seriously, we did. We looked at Home Depot about 20 minutes ago. Okay, Josh, I don't do E-mini S&P. Sorry. And I don't even know what the PD array is. So Kyle wants to look at MOV. What the heck is MOV? MOV. Oh, that's why I didn't know what it was. It's a monthly. No. Come on, Kyle, you've been here long enough. Okay, I don't do monthlies. They don't make sense. Invest in semiconductors. Black Loki, how are you doing today, brother? All right. Josh, premium discount array is from auction market theory. Okay, so here's the thing, Josh. Implied volatility, Laurie, how you doing? No, ITV. What the heck is ITV? So Josh, hold on a second. You're talking about premium discount array from auction market theory. I have no idea what that means. Now, I've been investing for close to 30 years. I admit I don't know everything. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty good at one thing, okay? Investing in dividend stocks. There's a lot of stuff I have no clue. Oh, Laurie, Intel. I love Intel, and I actually have me some Intel. Laurie will take a look at that in a minute. So, as I was saying, Josh, in Thinkorswim, there's so much information. Okay, I know about 3 or 4% of the information and all the perks and all the fun stuff inside Thinkorswim. It's just a trading platform. There are literally hundreds of trading ideas, trading theories and trading strategies. I like the one that I have. Okay, there's an old saying with the people that I congregate with: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working fine, leave it alone. Okay, so I have a trading strategy that I've been doing for the last 15 years, and I don't look at anything new. I have no desire to look at new stuff. None. Okay, and some people have a difficult time with that. Okay, so you're talking about a discount array from the auction market theory. I have no idea to even know what that is. None. I make 1% every week. I am perfectly happy with that. 1% a week is over 50% per year. It works for me. No desire to look at anything else. Premium discount array is a trade strategy looking at things overpriced. Okay. Hoping they will go down. Got it. I don't do that strategy. Sorry. I do a simple strategy. Okay? It was created for a 9-year-old. Adults have a tendency to make things more complicated. It's simple. Where's the high? It's right there. Where's the low? It's right there. What direction is it going? Well, it's going down. Now it's here. What was it doing now? Don't know. Well, let's zoom in. Okay? Now it's just going sideways. That's it. I don't either. I just want to clarify. Thank you, Black Loki. That was very nice of you. Laurie wants to take a look at Intel. Now, I love Intel. I do. Okay, I've watched Intel go from nothing to something. INTC. Okay. High and low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Down, sideways, up, big down, sideways. We're at 1951. The 20s are going for 86. That's over 4%. Can you imagine that? 4% per week? 4% a week is over 200% a year. 200% per year. Well, I can live with that comfortably. I can. All right. So a year ago, Intel was at 34. High of the year was in the middle of July at 37.21. That's the high of the year, 37. Well, we're currently at 20. Okay, that's almost a 50% drop. Josh, can we get some overview from COT data? Okay, Josh, can you explain to me what COT data is? Because when I say it was created for a 9-year-old, all right? When I say a 9-year-old, do you think Chinese oil is a good investment? No. Only reason. Now, don't take what I say for anything. Never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube or TikTok. Okay, I'm just a random guy. I'm just showing you what you guys are looking for. I'm showing you the numbers, giving you an idea. Oh, commitment of traders report. I love the commitment of traders report. However, Josh, the commitment of traders report's got nothing to do with the stock market. That's more for commodities. Josh, we get it, you study something. Thank you, Black Loki. Published by US Fed Weekly. Yeah, Josh, I get that. Commitment of traders report is more specifically for futures, okay? Oil, lumber, eggs, plywood, crude oil, gasoline, commodities. Okay? So, yeah, commitment of traders report, it's great if you're a commodities trader. But for a stock trader, it doesn't really equate unless you're doing a stock that's directly connected to, a futures. It's like an oil and gas companies. Well, yeah, they are kind of connected to gas and oil futures. But for the most part, no, I don't do that. Now, I used to trade futures years ago, and I did use the commitment of traders report. Kyle, last 2 years, the dividend dropped 36 to 25 on Intel. Wouldn't that drop from your missed? Yes, it would normally, Kyle. But there's certain stocks I just like. And Intel's one of them. Dell is another. Black Loki, I figured Chinese oil would be good since they have expanded the market. I don't know. It was just a hunch. Do I own any oil stuff? Hold on one second. Do I buy leaps and sell covered calls? I used to do that. That's called the poor man's covered call, also known as a calendar spread. I used to love calendar spreads. However, for every one you miss on, you got to recoup with 3. So for every one you lose, you got to win on 3 to break even. So I decided to stop doing calendar spreads because there was at one point where I lost 3 calendar spreads in a row, and it took me like, I don't know, about a month and a half to recoup that loss. Yeah, so now I just stick to the simple stuff. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way to lose. That's what I'm looking for now. Now, I understand it's only 1% a week. Okay, some people aren't okay with that. Terribly sorry. But 1% a week works for me. It's over 50% per year. Now, 50% per year, well, hey, that works for me. That's why I haven't changed my strategy in 15 years. It's the same one. Can you check Home Depot? Bill, we already looked at Home Depot. Can you finish looking at Intel? Yes, let's finish up with Intel. Thank you, Lori. I do have that. What do they call that? ADD, attention. Anyway, Intel. A year ago, we are at 34. The high of the year was 37. The last 90 days. Okay, last 90 days. High, low, where was it? Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now it's going back up again. Unfortunately, Laurie, take a look the last couple of weeks. Okay, here's the high, here's the low. Okay, it went down, up, down, up, down. Now it's turning, but me personally, I would like 2 days to the upside. We only have one. That's today. So the earliest I'll be getting into that thing would be Monday. Intel about to go down. Not really. Okay, here's the bottom right here. Shot up nicely, came back down again. Here's the bottom of the year. Okay, right now it's in an upward trend. Not huge, but still upwards. Short term. Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking for. 5 days at a time. I jump in on a Monday or a Tuesday and then get out on a Friday. That's my look for. Are the stocks driven by the CLS Group's price delivery algorithm? Holy shit. Ooh, what the hell was that? Ha ha! Muscle spasm. Shit, don't get old. Getting old ain't any fun. Okay, so, Josh, is the stock driven by the CLS Group's price delivery algorithm? You got to explain that one a little bit better, dude. Josh, what do you go to school for? Yeah, I'd be saying the same thing. Okay, so, Josh, when I say, okay, now listen closely, Josh. When I say this trading strategy was created for a 9-year-old little girl, okay? 9-year-old little girl. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. Okay? Simple. You're getting complicated. Adults have a tendency to want to show off how smart they are. Well, be my guest. It's going to be a waste of time. Okay? For life, thanks for the info. I followed you. Do you have these lives often? All right, 301 every single night at 9 p.m. Not Friday night and not Saturday night. Last year, it was every single night. That was awesome. Every single night. Ooh, Lisa, Nextera. I like Nextera. Lisa, let me finish up with Intel first. Okay, and then we'll look at Nextera next. James, can you check Home Depot? We already looked at Home Depot. Okay, cool. I'll come back. Thank you very much. All right, let's finish up with Intel. So Who is looking at Intel? I love Intel. All right, Laurie. Okay, Laurie. I love Intel. I actually own some Intel. Now, Intel has awesome premiums. So if and when the stocks go down, I can still get a nice return every single week. However, I like 2 days to the upside. We have a bottom right here, which was Monday. Today, we're a little bit higher. So what's going to happen tomorrow? If tomorrow is higher, great. Well, then I want to make sure Thursday or Friday is even higher. That would be 3 days the upside. That's where I would want to jump in. I majored in economics with my focus quantitative theory, and I can tell you most of those models are useless. Thank you, Black Loki. All right, Josh. CLS is a Swiss company which is used by all the big companies for settlements which very precisely schedule the price movements. Okay, John Turk, how are you doing this evening? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so Josh, let me see if I can explain it to you in a manner in which you might understand. Okay? Now, a 9-year-old can easily point out where's the high. They can also point out where's the low. And then they can take their little finger and go like this. Oh, look, it went down. Oh, and then it went up. And then it went down again. Now it's going back up again. Okay? Adults, someone just like yourself, likes to make things complicated so they sound smarter. Doesn't really help out. Because no matter what language you use, there's no other way of saying there's the high, there's the low, there's where it was, there's where it is, this is the direction that it is going. That's it. Okay? Can a 9-year-old time it that way? Well, okay, right there. Oh, it's right here. Back to YouTube. Okay. YouTube. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Videos. Oldest.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'm the 10-minute trader. In less than 3 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to make more than the average bear. There are 5 keys. Key number 1, there are 156 companies.
All right. Anyway, this is who I created it for, my 9-year-old daughter. Well, here she's 11. We've been trading for 3 or 4 years already, and she's doing rather well. She was making an average of 5% per month. Now, 5% per month as a 9-year-old, that's over 60% per year. Now, what you're looking at behind her is a whiteboard, which we're looking at what stocks were coming up for the week. Nokia, TEF, I forget what that one's, FTR, Win, AFRI, RND, 10%, 11%, 10%, 10%, 11%, 13%. Anyway, 15 years ago, we didn't have what we have now. All our calculation was on a big-ass whiteboard. Let's go back one. Back one.
Hi, I'm JC, and as you being part of my internet website called Thingy, which my dad doesn't like me calling it that, but I do. Being part of that, you're going to be getting weekly lists of stocks that I'll be trading, and every
Over 20 days.
And there's me, 15 years ago. CLS can't influencing price. It settles trades based off API connections and automation. Yep, makes sense. Yep. Man, I look so. What was 15 years ago, dude? That video was 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm 15 years older. Yeah, 15-year-old video. If you go backwards, where the hell? You see this right up here? 994 videos. I've been doing this for a while. Okay, 994 videos. I've been doing it for a while, Josh. Okay, so I kind of just smidge to know what I'm talking about. Kyle, Intel looking to announce a 20% workforce cut. Okay. Into looking to, Laurie, James, you aren't that old. The 60s are the new 50s. Okay, thank you for that. Josh, what did you go to school for? Thank you, Black Loki. Let's keep on answering. All right, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to answer the rest of the questions, and then we're going to call it a night, all right? So no more stocks, no more fun stuff. Let's go back to where we were. All right. We already looked at Siri. Aaron, we already looked at Siri. All right, we already looked at Home Depot. Amador, SPY. That's a no. Now, don't get me wrong. SPY works for some people with some strategies because it is predictable. There's lots of different ways. How come I can only see Josh? That's only you two are the only two actually commenting at the moment. Okay, so Black Loki, you're on YouTube. There's a TikTok channel over there. There's another TikTok channel over there. There's an Instagram channel over there, and there's a Facebook channel over there, and then there's 3 more channels down below. So I'm actually broadcasting to like 7 or 8 different channels. So I have questions coming in from all different. Yeah, awesome, Sasha, like that. I got questions coming in from all different angles. Went to school only to learn corporate slavery. You do know that the current education system was specifically designed for workers, not employers, but for workers. No, I didn't. Yeah, Black Locally, you sound like you're on point. Nice way to put it, on point. Frawini Abel, good evening to you. I like this advice. Cool beans, glad you like it. That silver guy, for capital appreciations, no. For options, absolutely. Okay. Aunt Kiki, what stock? We were just looking at Intel, Aunt Kiki.
I'm Benjamin. I'm the owner of All Nation Restoration. I started this business to do more than just restore.
Don't know where the hell that came from. Could you look on ONDS? Okay. ONDS. Hell no. Wasn't that quick? Okay. HD and D. Okay. 16 May, 20 June, 19 September. Those are monthlies. I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Just don't work. Lisa, you're still here? Cool beans. Okay, Bill, yes, you are right. That is a super note. Thank you there, Mr. Bill. Pagero, good evening, good evening. Ooh, Skull Trader, Verizon. Let's check out Verizon, VZ. All right, here we go. High, low, where was it? Where's it? Look at the motion. Up, down, down. What's going on here? Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Is Verizon a good opportunity this week? Nope. Who asked for that one? Skull Trader, check it out. Up, down, up, down. All right, so as soon as it's done going down, maybe we'll take a look at it. Maybe in a week or two. Don't know. I like Verizon. I do, really. But it's not the right time for me. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. If you like Verizon, hey, more power to you. But at this moment in time, I want to wait for it to finish dropping, find the new bottom, turn around, go back up. Because look, down, up, down, up, down. What do you think is going to go next? Once it's done going down, it will consolidate, turn around, go back up again. Because that's what stocks do. So maybe next week, Monday, Tuesday next week, could be. Okay, we'll take a look at it next week if you're here. Verizon, never a good opportunity. So are you just short-term micro gains? Yep. I do absolutely nothing long-term. Okay? The only thing I do long-term, Black Loki, is get older. That's the only thing I'm doing long-term. I'm getting older. Man, what's your take on cryptos? Josh, I love now listen closely. I love the idea of cryptos, but until they are safe and predictable, no. Sorry, because you can't make money on crypto unless you sit in front of the computer and watch it. I have no idea, no desire to do that. Thank you, Black Locally. Cryptos are not stable. Laurie, Christina, you're actually watching, but it's about to end. Yep, I am about to end. Okay, so I got about 15 or 20 more questions on one of the TikTok channels, and then I'm done for the night. Hello, Loki. I like the Sumerian stories. Okay. Marla, 50s living. All right, Marla. I got the 60s living. Ooh, Northwest Energy Group. Bill, that's a good one. But I'm pretty sure Northwest Energy is a monthly, not a weekly. Sumerian stories, I'm lost. Well, I'm a little lost there too, but okay. M. David Mitchell, good evening, good evening. What's my favorite stock trade? My favorite stock trade is a vertical. That's my favorite. All right, do you day trade or invest? Eris Arts, good evening to you. I do a hybrid between investing and trading. See, I trade stocks that I like to invest in and hold for the rest of my life. There's a God, Loki. Yep, there is. Garrett, opinion on PM, Philip Morris. Now, Garrett, you asked me that last night. We looked at Philip Morris last night. I'm not retired yet, but I will be. We'll be there soon, 2029. That's 4 years away. Cool. HUT, H-U-T, Chris that lifts. Oh, the Chris that lifts. Okay. H-U-T. Yeah, Norsgaard. Frost Giant. Yeah. Josh, I hope I am not bothering you. No, not at all. Oh, yeah, my name's based off him. Yep. MG, thank you, MG. Rafik, good evening, Rafik. Freedom Rings, what's the strategy? Ooh, Freedom Rings, you ready? All right. The strategy is investing in dividend stocks specifically just before the EX date, before the stock moves up, and then doing a covered call for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. How much do I need to start following your method? Okay, Kite Point, my grandson started out with 50 bucks. All haters need to move on and let the others learn. Techno 12, I'm going to agree with you. Rafik, how can I learn stocks? Should I go through learn from education, paid videos, or just start investing? Now, Rafik, I always tell people if you're just getting started, paper trade. It's kind of like playing Monopoly. Okay, you actually go in, there's a whole bunch of different trading platforms that have what's called a virtual account, which allows you to do investing without risking any money so that you can practice. Okay, now I've been trading for almost 30 years and I still paper trade because I come up with new trading strategies all the time and I want to test them before I put real money into them. So I always tell people to paper trade first. Once you perfect it with paper trading, then put real money in. Don't risk your money if you don't know what you're doing. Lisa M, maybe we should have some dividend stocks that are dividend kings that are named after Sumerian Norse gods. When your daughter and your grandson started with 50 bucks, how much did they gain after a year? Well, my grandson just recently started, so his account is still small, and he only gets what, $2, $3, $4 a week, because me, grandpa, and then grandma, and then the other grandparents, and then my son and my daughter-in-law. Well, we take our spare change, okay, throw it in a jar at the end of the week. Maybe it's $2 or $3. Well, all 6 of us getting $2 or $3 here, and there. Well, we throw it into my grandson's account because he's the only one at the moment. But when the other grandchildren come, I'm going to have to split up the money. So yeah, it's not growing that big at the moment. Lisa, I like the story of Loki. I see him as a trickster god. Only my take is a trickster god, basically. Okay, all right, there you go. All right, strategy, okay, there you go. How much do I need to get? You can start whatever you want. Techno, all the haters got that one. How can I learn stocks and go? All right. All right, who said that one? Rafiq. Now, Rafiq, I'm here every single night. Okay, simplest thing you can do is go to YouTube to learn because there's a whole bunch of videos there. Come back every night, ask questions. I only teach one trading strategy here for free. I do have a trading group that meets in the morning, and I do go a little bit slower and walk the new people through it a little slower. I know that you have another computer because it is a tool and resource from the internet. Okay, Bill, thank you. Time to delete. These people are not traders because if they were, they would understand 1% per day is good. Okay, so time to delete. I did not say 1% a day. 1% per week. JP means Jan Phillip. Okay. It doesn't have to be 1% a day. So far as to pay the bills, I'm okay with it. Yeah, okay. Amy, I don't do 1% a day. It's 1% per week. These people, okay, got it. I look younger today? Okay, thank you for that. Spicy Panda, good evening. Club Med Tom, thank you for a good night. You're welcome, Club Med Tom. Tax free, cool beans. Bill, I still need help with question 6 of West Side Trail. Bill, I have no idea what question number 6 of West Side Trail is. I can't help you out. What's the maximum elevation of the trail from the West Side Trail? No idea. Princess Janie, how are you today? Eric Hutchinson, why do you have 3 accounts? Why not have all your trades in one place? Wow! Spoken like a youngster. Now, the reason why I say that, Eric Hutchinson, okay, as you get older, you will know not to trust the government as far as you can throw them. So if I have 7 different accounts, all in different names, yeah, they can seize 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, but not all 7. Okay, I don't trust the government as far as I can throw them. Webull trading is good for paper trading. Okay, that's good. Josh, what is more important, technical analysis or risk-reward ratio? Ooh, that's a good one. I like to do a combination of the two. Now, the only reason I say that because risk-reward ratio, well, that's the, what do you call it? The last chance ditch effect, so to speak. So you got to do the fundamentals first. Fundamentals are always first. Then you get the price action, and then you get the risk reward, because it all goes in tandem, one at a time. What is the stock doing? Where's it going? Where's it moving? Does it make sense? If I put my money in here, what's the risk? What's the reward? If the risk is not worth the reward, then it's a no. I don't want to clog up the chat with other stuff. Let's stay on topic. It's my fault. Astera Resources was a good investment for me. Check it out and tell me what you think. I bought it at 3. AR. Josh, what is the average rate of return of your strategy? I'd say 1.5%. That's the average rate of return. So if I get 1.5% every single week, that is over 70% for the year. And I'm okay with that. Princess Janie just started doing the stock game. Where was it? All right, just started doing the stock game last week, just dabbling now. to try to understand what I'm doing. Well, that actually makes sense. Unruly. Good evening. Lover and Hawa. Good evening. User 1921, how you doing? Is there any chat room you use for trades? Yep. International Container Terminal Services Incorporated. Okay, Bill. MGI Lumina, good evening. I am a big fan of bowling. Philip Morris. Oh, Carlos, I like Philip Morris. All of my money that I have invested in my household with next week's 23% with tax rate. Yuck. Bill, VFC is so interesting. Yes, it is. Amy, thanks. Getting late here. Best of luck and good night. Good night, Miss Amy. Have a lovely evening. Skull Trader, how often are you long on shares? Do you sell shares when the weekly option premium goes below 1%? Yes, I do. Okay, now Skull Trader, I will hold on to a stock as long as it gives me 1.5% every week. If it doesn't give me 1.5% every week, I'll try to get rid of it. And it's not that easy to get rid of it because I don't want to sell a loss. And I've only sold one stock at a loss this year. That's it. Bro, I appreciate that you're able to read what I am intending to say, even though my grammar is bad and I'm dyslexic. Appreciate your patience. Okay. I'm going to ham in the 401k right now. Not quite sure what that means. I'm going ham in on the 401k right now. I have no idea what that means. What expiration date for Disney? Check that out tomorrow. Okay, we're like 20 past 1. All right. 10% weekly. Ooh. Good for you, Black Loki. 10% weekly? Cool beans. Tasha, good evening. Unruly. What was the explanation? We already looked at that one. Carlos, did we check Philip Morris? Had to drop. Oh, you're going all in. Cool. Be careful with that 401k, dude, because the next buyout might come from the 401ks. Thank you for everything. I hope you have a good evening and see you tomorrow. Okay. No, 10% of my income. Oh, all righty then. Okay, no, Josh, I don't do Forex. Okay, I don't do Forex. I don't do cryptocurrency. I don't do futures. I don't do fast contracts. Dividend investing only. That's it. You want to chat? Drop me your phone number. I will give you a call. I say that every night. 1, 2, 3 people send me their phone numbers and I call. 1, 2, 3 people every day. No, Carlos, we have not looked at Philip Morris yet. Oh, check it out. That's it. There's the last question right there. Harry for good. Good evening, Harry. How are you doing today? All right, so it is 1:21, way past my bedtime. Daniel Berry, sports highlights. Yo, cool beans. How you doing? All right, so that's every single question. I am done for the night. Black Loki, I'm at 23% last year. This year, I am at 8%. But at the end of the year, I think it will skyrocket. So I'm buying while it's cheaper. Okay. All right. So that being said, I've answered each and every individual question. There are no questions left to go. Harry for good, different name, cool beans. So you guys over here on Facebook, have a nice night. We'll talk to you later. Later. Instagram, you guys have a great night also. Talk to you guys later. And now, and TikTok here. Okay. Have a great night, everyone. And we will catch you again tomorrow. And you guys here on YouTube, talk to you later. Talk to you tomorrow. And now.